laptop, and then we're good to go. 2 seconds. I think I've caught the sun today in the garden. There we go. Yeah, we're up and rocking. Hey, welcome back to Brooks's Base Corner, live chat number 54, coming to you from London town, UK, 8 o'clock Tuesday. Welcome back. This is the first of the regular Tuesday nights that we'll be doing between now and the 19th of December. So every Tuesday night here on Brooks's Base Corner, we will have a live bass chat. Good to see you. Welcome back. If you've been away during the summer, as we were, apart from the 3 live chats we did, I hope everything's good. Hope your bass playing's going well. Hope you've had a great summer. I need to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. So if you're in the UK, good to see you. If you're over the other side of the pond in the US, good to see you too. If you're logging in from Japan, Australia, Africa, Middle East, Far East, South America, Canada, good to see you. You're all welcome. Hope life is treating you good generally. But anyway, welcome to the live chat number 54. Can't believe we've done 54 of these, but we have. I've counted them up. It's 54. So good to see you after the summer break. Here we go. In for autumn, through winter. Before you know it, spring and summer will be back around. So if you want to tune in with me every Tuesday night for live bass chat, it'd be great to have your company. So you're always welcome. So what's been going on? Well, lots of things actually. Before we go any further, I've got to do the preamble. The regulars know I do this, so get it out the way and then we can get on with the live chat and discuss all things bass. So if this is your first time on a live chat, whether here on my channel or any channel here on YouTube, you're very welcome. The way this works, this is the video window. If you're on the mobile app, directly below it is the live chat window. If you're on the desktop version, the live chat window is that way. Basically, put your cursor, your pointer, your mouse, whatever you want to call it, in the live chat window. Type your message, comment, question, whatever. Press send. It will pop up here on my window. Then I see it. Then I can reply to you, respond to you. The regulars here on the live chats, they will also interact. If you've got any questions about bass guitars, bass amplifiers, combos, speakers, bass effect pedals, gig bags, accessories, anything to do with bass guitars. If you don't know what's causing a problem, or you're looking to buy a new bass or some pedals, or how to set up a pedal board, or you want to put your bass on a workbench and learn how to do action and intonation and neck relief and all of that stuff, ask the question. I'll do my best to answer it. I'll give you as much advice as I possibly can. If I don't know the answer, chances are one of the regulars here on the live chats will know. They're a fine bunch of people. They've covered the miles just as I have. I've done over 4,000 gigs in my career. I used to write for Bass Guitar Magazine and Bass Player Magazine for 18 years. I've had so much review gear through these walls, through these doors. So for the magazines, I think I did somewhere in the region of about 700 reviews in all. So it's pedals, amplifiers, basses, accessories, all that stuff. So if I can help at all, if you've got a problem with your gear or you're just looking for some advice, let me know in the live chat window. I'll do my very best to help you as much as I can. So at the bottom of the live chat window, you'll see an emoji icon, which I think is like a smiley face. Feel free to hit that emoji icon as much as you wish. Add emojis to the chat. It's all good. The channel, it's an indicator for the YouTube algorithm that people are getting involved in the chat, that they're enjoying the chat. So feel free to add your emojis as you wish. Next to that, you'll see a dollar symbol. That's called Super Chat. That allows you to make a financial donation to the channel if you'd like to do so, or a contribution. It can be as small as you like, as big as you like. It all goes in the same melting pot. Allows me to keep the channel going for hopefully years, decades to come. What does that money go towards? Well, it goes towards studio time. It goes towards buying all the equipment that I use here for the videos and the live chats, the pedals, the cleaning materials you see in the workshop videos, the lights, the cables, the stands, the microphones, the audio interfaces, all the various bits and bobs for the bass stuff. All of that gets paid for out of my pocket. None of it gets sent to me for free. I have to go and buy it, and then that's how it's featured here on the channel. So that's Super Chat. There is another feature here on all the videos on Brooks's Bass Corner, because it's a monetized channel. So underneath the video window, you'll see a row of icons. There's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. We love the thumbs up. So if you're enjoying the video, enjoying the channel, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not enjoying the video and you want to give it a thumbs down, that's entirely up to you. But all I ask is please leave a comment as to why you aren't enjoying the video, or maybe it's the way the video is, maybe the screen's too cluttered, maybe you don't like my presentation style. But if you don't leave a message and let me know what's working for you and what isn't, I can't make it any better. So that's kind of how that works. So there's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. There's a share button. There's the shop button, which takes you through to the merchandise shelf. There's a save button so you can watch the video at a later date. And then there's also another dollar symbol inside a love heart. That's called Super Thanks. So that appears underneath every video on the channel, and it works in exactly the same way as Super Chat. So again, if you wish to make a financial contribution towards the running of the channel, keeping it going, feel free. You don't have to. The videos are free to watch. But if you'd like to say thank you for the videos, or if I cover something, whether it's here on this live chat or it might be on any video here on the channel, if you find something useful, you just like to say thank you, feel free. But you don't have to. So don't feel obliged to do that. You can also help the channel in a number of ways. So first of all, if you're not already a subscriber to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. That's always very much appreciated. Hit the notification bell so you get notifications whenever I'm posting up new videos, when I'm communicating via the community tab, if I'm doing impromptu live chats. So tonight is a scheduled live chat. It's been scheduled for about 6 to 7 weeks. But when I'm out gigging, or if I'm visiting a bass store or a retailer, bumping into famous bass names, I sometimes do impromptu live chats. It's literally on the fly. Hit go and away we go. So if you want notifications of those, then you need to hit the subscribe button, put the teeth in, be a good start, and also hit the notification bell. Now, I've had people over the summer go, I didn't know you were doing an impromptu live chat. I didn't get a notification. What it turns out is that on the notification bell, you can hit it, but there are 3 settings, and unless you manually select all, which is the top setting, the system automatically selects none, I think. So if you have none selected for notifications, you're never going to get notifications when I post anything up. You literally are subscribing to the channel, and that's the level of interaction you have with the channel. The second option is highlights. So the YouTube algorithm monitors what videos you watch on the channel, which ones you interact with, which ones you like, which ones you comment on, which ones you watch the most. And it will then only notify you when I produce similar videos to the ones you like. But the third option is all. So basically every time I produce a video, a community tab post, a live impromptu live chat, anything here on the channel, you will get a notification. So if you want to keep up with my travels, where the gigs I do, the people I bump into, you really need to hit all when you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. So again, if you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, and feel free to share the videos here on the channel, either onto your website, via email, via social media. Spread the word. Feel free to do that. I've had a few people go, oh, I didn't know I could share your videos. Well, feel free. The more exposure the channel gets, hopefully the bigger the channel gets, and then balls start rolling. And as things progress with the YouTube algorithm and the social media platforms, I'll get more offers for the affiliate marketing, affiliate sales, which I can then pass those benefits on to you guys. So if you're a bass player, you enjoy anything here on the channel, please feel free to share it out there in social media world. It's very much appreciated. So I'm talking about affiliate sales. Before I get to that bit, I'm going to talk about merchandise we have here on the channel. So Brooks's Base Corner merchandise is handled by Spreadshirt and Spreadshop, same company, different locations. So if you go into the description box, you'll see merch links for the UK and European store and the US and worldwide store. They don't carry all the same items, but they do have all the same designs. So how does this work? Well, you pick a design. There's about, I think, 13 or 14 up there at the moment. Pick the design, then pick which item you'd like that design on. Then pick what colour you like. So if you're buying t-shirts, do you want a white one, a black one, a grey one, a blue one, orange, yellow, red, green? There's loads of colours. Then pick the size you want, add it to your basket, pay for it, and that's it. It's on its way to you. So at the moment, I've got a new range of shirts and mugs, which basically feature quotes from base legends I've interviewed in the past. Now, I know everyone gets bombarded with these sort of adverts on Facebook and Instagram for unofficial shirts that use graphics. They haven't asked for the copyright. The artists literally don't have the time to shut these people down. So how have I done base legend quote t-shirts? Okay. During my time writing for Bass Guitar magazine and Bass Player magazine, I did loads of interviews. I own the copyright on those interviews. I can do whatever I like with those interviews. I can post them up social media. I can do videos with them here on YouTube. I can produce merchandise. However, if you use a quote from someone, whether they're famous or not, it could be your next door neighbour, it might be your mate down the pub, it could be anyone. You have to ask for their permission to use their quotes. That's the legal point. You have to ask for their permission. Luckily for me, I made a reasonable impression on most of the bass celebs that I've interviewed over the years. And I got in touch with the first, well, 3 of the first 4 that we've done, that I've done, shirts and mugs for. So I got in touch with Leland Sklar. I got in touch with Mark King. I got in touch with Nathan East. They all said, fill your boots, mate. Good luck. Best of luck. If you can sell some shirts, go for it. So we have shirts by Nathan East. We have Leland Sklar, but that shirt is currently in the wash. Now I've then got a shirt by Chris Squire. Now obviously I couldn't ask for his permission because he passed away 8 years ago. I did send an email to the Squire family estate, but they haven't replied. So if at any point someone from the Squire family doesn't want me producing these t-shirts or mugs, you just let me know and I'll stop. But otherwise I'm spreading the word of Chris, his work in Yes, his solo stuff, and that is a quote from Chris Squire from an interview I did with him in 2014. So that's a navy blue shirt with Chris's quote. We then got a Mark King shirt from Level 42. That's from an interview with Mark in 2017. So that's on a charcoal grey Bella canvas shirt. So there are different brands of t-shirt, different styles, different cuts, different colors obviously. So if you're interested in any of the merch, head on over to the merch stores. Links are in the description box, and like I say, there's a UK and Europe store, there's a US and worldwide store. With those quotes, there's also so there's a range of t-shirts and a range of mugs. That's all there is at the moment. I'm not doing hoodies, I'm not doing phone covers, iPad covers and other merch. It's just mugs and t-shirts. So if you want to check them out, there's the Nathan East one, of course. So that's from an interview I did with him in 2014. Yeah. So if you want to check any of that stuff out, please do. How does it affect the channel? Well, when you buy the merch, I don't get the full price of what you're buying. Basically, I get a small commission percentage, and it is small, but as more people buy merch, it becomes a larger amount. And the more merch you guys buy over time, the better the offers are and the discounts I can offer you. And there are various promotions running all the time on Spreadshirt and Spreadshop. So feel free to go into the store. If there's an offer on, you'll see the offer at the top of the store. You click the redeem button, that gets applied to your basket and you get that discount. Last week, I think from Thursday through till Monday, there was 20% off if you bought 2 items, any 2 items. But obviously that promotion has ended now. I need to go back into the store and see what the next promotions are, but they run fairly consistently. There's a couple of discounts every month, so feel free to check out the Brooks' Base Corner merch. So, oh, I need to show off the mug, of course, because that's what's being displayed in the merch shelf and also on this video. So there's one of the Brooks' Base Corner logo mugs. This has been in and out of the dishwasher hundreds of times since it got here in March, and the print hasn't faded. The colours are still bright and vivid. The quality of the gear from Spreadshirt and Spread Shop is fantastic. T-shirts are great. They wash great. They iron great. Keep their shape. The prints don't crack. It's great stuff. The mugs are fab. The hoodies are wonderful. And check it out. That's all I can say. So there's a merch shelf directly underneath this video. You'll see various items that are available. Now, if you buy merch from the merch shelf or here on YouTube, a percentage of that goes to YouTube and a percentage comes to me. If you go via the links in the description box, all of the commission comes to me. So that's the difference there. So we were talking about affiliate sales. So how does that work? So basically, if you've got any bass related purchases that you're thinking about, maybe a new bass, a new pedal, new amp, strings, leads, picks, gig bags, accessories, cleaning materials, whatever. If you've got a bass related purchase coming up, check out the affiliate links in the description box. They're on every video here on the channel. There are affiliate links for Amazon.co.uk and the various Amazons around Europe, and Amazon US and Australia and Japan and loads of Amazons. So Amazon, Thomann, Gear for Music and ANDERTONS. So say you're looking to buy a new set of strings, click on any of those affiliate links, find the item you're looking for. On Thomann and Amazon, I've created Brooks' Bass Corner storefronts that are broken down into sections. So there's a section for basses, a section for amps, a section for pedals, a section for strings, cleaning materials, gig bags, accessories, what have you. So find the item you're looking for, add it to your basket. When you go through the transaction, you pay for the item, Brooks' Bass Corner receives a very small, and I mean small, affiliate commission. But again, all those small affiliate commissions form a big affiliate commission as each year passes. So if, like I say, if you've got any bass related purchases you're thinking of making, please feel free to check out the affiliate links in the description box, go through with your purchase, pay for your item, and then Brooks' Bass Corner gets a small commission on the top. Doesn't change anything for you in the buying process, it just helps the channel to keep going. I think that's all the preamble. Right, let's see who we've got on the live chat. First one back since the summer. See, there's quite a few people on, so that's good. Steffi from Germany, good to see you. Hi. Stacy from North Carolina. Hi. Stevie Mac, 111 days till Christmas. Don't do that. Don't do that. I have my tree up already. You're a lost soul, Stevie Mac. A lost soul. I don't want to see anything to do with Christmas until December the 1st. It perturbs me that supermarkets in the second week of August here in the UK were already selling selection boxes and Christmas chocolate tubs. Idiots. Right. Stacey Ann. Oh wow, Stevie Mac. Getting a jump on things. Yes, indeed. Like to be prepared. You were in the Scouts. Very good. Let's see what we got. So first time here. You're very welcome. Sorry. I'm just playing with you. Don't worry. You're very welcome. Get stuck into the live chat. Got anything bass related you'd like to ask? Fire away and I will do my best to answer. And if I don't know the answer, chances are someone else on here will. Kevin Smith, good to see you. Have been soaking up the great sunshine? Yes, I have. This week, I have been so far, so we've had 2 days this week, getting all the garden jobs that I can possibly get done. My gigs start on Thursday this week. I've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the good weather kind of goes through till Tuesday. So it's been fence painting, cutting the grass, doing the decking, painting the shed, all of those kind of jobs. Out in the sun, it's no bad thing. We're going to be tucked up indoors during winter for long enough. So enjoy the good weather while it's there. Keith Doherty, good to see you. Hi, I'll be in and out of the chat. That's fine, my friend, no problem. Due to circumstances, no problem. Hopefully won't miss too much. Can always play the catch up tomorrow to see what I miss. Yes, you can. If you ever miss any of the live chats, feel free to catch up on them. They're listed in the live playlist, live section of the videos, but there is a separate playlist, so every live chat gets added to that playlist. If you want to go back and check all the different live chats we've done, feel free. There are some absolute base nuggets in there. For example, the time Leland Sklar popped in for a quick chat. Mr. Dave Swift from Jules Holland's band, he's been here with us. 2 live chats ago, we had Neil Fairclough from Queen and Adam Lambert. He was on here for 2.5 hours. Let's think who else we had. My old editor from Bass Guitar Magazine and bass player, Joel McIver. We've had him on here. So, yes, we get a few names popping in. So anyone that wants to check any of the old live chats out, please, feel free to do so. That's, you're entirely free to check those out. Right, okay, Stevie Mac, let's see what you're saying here. Wow, it's like 15 minutes of tutorial how YouTube works. It's like getting captured by the big issue guy at the supermarket. I'm sorry. When does the channel start? The boys burning daylight. I'm so sorry. I have to do that kind of thing because if I don't, a lot of the interaction on the channel just passes by. And also we get a lot of people here on the channel for the live chats who don't know all these features. That all they know on YouTube is find something and watch it. They don't know all the other bits and bobs. I have to do that, and I do it sort of once every 90 minutes or so. So just go with me on that. I try not to take up too much time doing that thing. Graham, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Hope your bass playing's going well. I hope no one else has nicked your clothing on the gigs. Poor Graham, he bought a fantastic Brooks's Bass Corner hoodie about 3 months ago. He wore it to a gig, I think a function, wasn't it, Graham? And someone stole it. Now, I know Brooks's Bass Corner merchandise is highly desirable and quite fabulous, but the poor guy, I'm so sorry, Graham. He had his very nice hoodie stolen. Have you heard about the missing Paul McCartney bass? Yeah, it's the bass, it's the Hofner he used right up until the end of filming of Get Back. And it disappeared. And there's now a team of sort of experts on that bass. And I think Hofner have got involved as well. And they're trying to track this bass down. Now, bearing in mind, it's been missing for 54, 55 years. Someone must know where it is. Someone must know what it is. But I guess there's every chance that whoever ended up with it, whether it was stolen or it just got passed on, it could be with someone who has no concept of what they've got. It'll turn up. I just hope it turns up in his lifetime. That is, it's the bass guitar that changed music, basically, isn't it? Along with James Jameson's Precision. Fingers crossed. Let's hope Sir Paul gets his missing bass back. I mean, that's a hell of a bass. Think of the things that were written and created on that guitar, that bass. Incredible. Oh, my mum's popped up. Hello, Mum. Mum is watching and listening. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing great. Very good. I've got your merchandise for you, which I'll give you next week, of course, when you're up here. Let's see. Stacey Ann, good evening, Mrs. You can call my mum Sue, Stace, don't worry. All is good here. So there we go. So let's, latest video here on the channel. So finally broke the duck. So for anyone who has been away from the channel over summer, we did 3 live chats. We did one at the end of each month instead of the regular Tuesday night. So the past couple of months, my family's been dealing with, my father-in-law was diagnosed with lung cancer towards the end of May. Sadly, he passed away 2 weeks ago. We've got his funeral next week. So I had all these grand plans for creating loads of content during the summer. Just didn't happen. We had too many things to deal with. Just days disappeared. But anyway, First video went up on Sunday, so if you have any interest in a Spectre NS Pulse Series 1 in Cinder Red, sandblasted finish, twin humbuckers, 5-string. In fact, I'll put the link up, so anyone who's missed out on this quite splendid demo, you can check it out right now if you want. 2 seconds. Here we go. Let's get a shareable link for you fine people. There we are. So this went up on Sunday. It seems to be quite popular. Most Spectre videos I do here on the channel seem to get a good audience. So if you haven't seen that, by all means check it out. Give me some feedback. Thumbs ups are always welcome, of course. But please comment on the video. Let me know if you like it. If you don't, let me know what you think of the demo itself. Do you like the sounds? Maybe you don't. Do you like the looks? Maybe you don't. But Spectres always seem to be quite popular. So that video went up. I'm hoping to get an interview video up tomorrow and possibly a review video before the end of the week. So, but it all depends on my timing regarding the the gigs I've got. So got 4 gigs this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And 2 of those Uncle Funk's, Disco Inferno, one's a function band. And on Friday, I'm out with a Queen tribute. So it's all go. It's all go. So we're coming to the end of festival season here in the UK. Last week, I'm trying to remember, the weeks have just blurred into a mesh. Let me think, where were we? Friday, we had a private function in Buckinghamshire, which was very good for someone's 60th birthday. And then Saturday we were playing again with Uncle Funk's Disco Inferno. We were playing at Santa Pod Raceway in Wellingborough near Northampton, and that was for the VW, as in Volkswagen, VW Action Festival, and it was great. We had a great night, great show. I tried to put clips up on the Facebook and Instagram channels, but there will be videos. Well, actually, the next bass string experiment video could well be the video for tomorrow. And there are clips from all the gigs through the summer, actually going all the way back to this time last year. So if for anyone that doesn't know, the bass string experiment series is a series of videos here on the channel. Basically, I've got a Status Empathy bass right here. So the regulars will know all about this, but anyone new to the channel, Stevie Mac, I'm talking to you. So this is my Status Empathy 4-string bass. It's had the same set of rotor sound round wound swing bass strings, round wound steel 40-100 gauge, for over a year. These went on, I think, on like the 27th or 28th of July last year. They've done every gig that I've used this bass on since. As of Saturday, this has done 63 gigs. Thursday's gig will be 64. Saturday's gig will be 65. They're dying off. The E string's great. It's like an old bit of rope. But the bass, well, they're still doing the business. The EQ is what gets these strings through. Any other bass I'd put these strings on, these would be beyond the pale now. I'd be too worried that the tone was sucking a big one. But this 3-band EQ with sweepable mids, it helps them through, put it that way. So I have no idea how long these are going to last. The series will end either when a string snaps or the tuning stability goes. But at the moment, the E string's still holding up. G string's okay. D string's on the way. A string is going the same way as the E string. But yeah, so that at the moment, that series is at gig number 14. Last Saturday was gig number 63, so you can see how many I've got to do. But what we're doing with the next bunch of videos is we're going to go in groups of 5. So instead of 1 video per gig, we will encapsulate 5 gigs in 1 video, which will make a better viewing experience for you guys. Because It seems daft to do a video for each gig now because the strings have died off. I'll just be saying the same thing. But over 5 gigs, there's a progression, so you'll get to see those. So all that footage is there, ready to go. I've just got to start putting them up. So there. So yes, so it's been very busy summer. Lots of festivals, lots of gigs, lots of different bands. It's been a weird summer. It started quiet, then got very busy very quick, and then kind of died off again. Then got busy again. Then I think there was 1 week where I didn't have any gigs, and it's been full throttle since start of August. And this month is rampant. October it starts to get a bit quieter, it just naturally does. November's okay, and then we get into December and it goes hell for leather again. So plenty of footage from gigs and videos that I've done on gigs, and like I say, the bass string experiment series will be kicking in again maybe tomorrow. I think that might be prudent to get that next video in the series up. Gigs this week, of course, and then, like I say, content. Well, as the gigs sort of start to slow down a bit as we get into October, the content here on the channel will start to pick up again, because there'll be more time in the day to get that stuff done. So if you've got any questions about bass guitars, amplifiers, combos, speakers, bass effect pedals, gig bags, bass accessories, strings, picks, you name it, cleaning stuff, you want to talk about the stuff we do here on the workshop videos, I swear by this set. It's fabulous. Dunlop System 65 guitar maintenance kit, the green one, the cream of carnauba wax. If you've got a bass with a gloss finish, you need this. It's fabulous. It makes a gloss finish that's gone a bit dull, maybe a little bit scratchy. You know, you get that swirling. It's not a scratch, but you get that swirling effect. That's the stuff to replace the luster on a gloss finish. So if you want to check out what I think of that, there's a video here on the channel. I'll put a link in the live chat where that red Empathy bass that you just saw had a massive cleanup just prior to that starting the bass string experiment series, and I used some of that cream of carnauba wax. You see the finish before I put it on, and then after I've put it on and cleaned it up, it looks outstanding. Just bear me a moment while YouTube does its thing. Any time today would be good. There we are. Let's get a link. So anyone that hasn't seen this, if you're thinking of, well, actually it applies to any bass, but obviously the title of the video is Make Your Status Graphite Empathy Bass Play Better. But you can actually apply this to pretty much any bass guitar. If you're going to get it on the workbench cleaned up, set it up, you might find some information in that video handy. Or you might not. You might think, he's just teaching me to suck eggs. I know all this stuff. If you've never done it before, you think, I don't know what all these cleaning products do. They all seem to do something different. And let's be fair, there's millions of them on the market. It's hard to know where to start. So if I can give you a bit of a guide into that, then that's good. So who've we got here? I haven't got a lot of the regulars yet, but I guess they're going to appear a little later. Some people are still on holiday. It's all right for some. And we haven't had Lewis Wingrove yet. Lewis will no doubt be along a little later. Busy chap. Possibly with the largest pedal board in existence, I swear. I bet the postman can't put letters through Lewis's postbox anymore. It's where he lives. It's the pedal board's taken over. Probably be something like out of Terminator, the artificial intelligence. But here we go. Anyway, you're very welcome here. Brooks's Bass Corner, live chat number 54. 54. Don't know where all those chats are. I'm holding it the wrong way around, aren't I? There we go. Got to see the logo, haven't you? There we go. So yeah, we've done 54 of these. think the current record for our live chat is 5 hours and 15 minutes. Yes, we did one. We did one back in the spring that lasted 5 hours and 15 minutes. I didn't crawl in the bed until nearly 1:30 in the morning. That was the killer. But we put the world to rights that night. Yes, we did. Patrick Sweeney, good to see you, sir. Finally managed to be in when you're home live streaming. There you go, you see. Hope everything's good with you, Patrick. Stacey, yes, Lewis's pedal board must be the stuff of legends. It's getting that way. There you go, Patrick Sweeney. See, I say the regulars aren't here and then they start to appear. It's great. So, yeah, so if there's any bases that you've seen in the content here on the channel, quite a lot of them are in my personal collection. So if you want to know anything about some of the bases you see behind me, or if you've seen some of the videos here on the channel, you want to ask some questions, feel free. If there's anything going back to my my reviews and features that I did for Bass Guitar Magazine or Bass Player, you want to ask some questions about any of that stuff, go right ahead. If it's, as long as it's not what's the word, inflammatory, let's put it like that. If there's nothing inflammatory, we're good. I can answer any of that. And the other thing was, if there's any of the interviews, obviously, if there's any of the interviews from the magazines or here on the channel, the videos, where I've used the audio from the original original interviews that I did, if you want to ask any questions about those celebs, then feel free, you know. Everyone but two of all the interviews I did were great, but there were two people, and we've had this discussion before here on the channel, there were two people who really, I wish I hadn't done them, but there we go. You live and learn. And other than that, everyone else was great, really good. So there you have it, from the horse's mouth. I was there. So yeah, so who's been buying new gear? What have you all been buying over the summer months? Anyone bought any new basses, new pedals, new amps? What's the current hot stuff on the street? I think we're going to see a real flood of new gear this year as we approach NAMM. It's going to be the first proper NAMM show in on the West Coast since just before COVID hit. So it'll be the first proper one in 4 years. There was one in April, but a lot of the retailers, manufacturers, distributors weren't exhibiting. And there was talk after all my sisters appeared. Evening, finally worked out YouTube. Very good. Well, there we go. I'll have the whole family on here soon. Yes, there was talk after the NAMM show in April that maybe the NAMM show is, I don't like to say it, a thing of the past, because so much was done via social media platforms and online during COVID that maybe a lot of companies, manufacturers, distributors now think that's a better medium for them to display their wares rather than paying exorbitant exhibitor fees for the NAMM show. We will see. I think January will be a bit of an acid test for that. And if you find that people just aren't taking up the spots that they used to, and that would probably be an indicator for how things are going to go moving forward. But we'll see. We'll see. But I think there's going to be a lot of new gear appearing as we get closer to Christmas. So they'll, you know, a lot of this stuff gets held on to until NAMM, and then it floods the market sort of at the end of January. We'll see. We'll see. I suspect things are getting a bit closer back to normal than it was before, you know, since COVID. I haven't noticed any trends lately that people aren't buying stuff, but we'll see. I was actually at the gallery in Camden on Wednesday last week. I was having a chat with Martin Peterson and John Chapman, and we were talking about the sad passing of Bernie Marsden, guitarist, former guitarist with White Snake and other projects. and how his guitar collection, vintage guitar collection, was going up for auction. And we were saying, well, actually they were saying, and I kind of agreed with them, that you're going to find over the next maybe 10, 15 years, there's going to be a lot of performers and entertainers, musicians who have substantial vintage instrument collections. And at some point, those instruments are going to come onto the market, whether via auction or, you know, them just presenting those instruments for sale. And we were saying, you know, if all these vintage Fenders, vintage Gibsons, basses, guitars, whatever, are going to come on the market, you're going to find, if there's like a huge flurry of this, that there's potential for the vintage instrument market to really drop in price, because, you know, what has pushed vintage Fender, like precision jazz basses, what have you, it's pushed those prices up for the past 3-4 decades. It's the fact they were limited in number, and people were buying them up and keeping them, and, you know, tucking them away in a vault and in their cases and putting them in the loft. And there probably are quite a few players who've got serious vintage instrument collections. But if the market's going to be flooded with those basses, and suddenly you can kind of pick and choose, you know, well, I want one that's, you know, salmon pink or salmon red. Well, you just wait until one appears. The desirability may drop, which will then see prices potentially drop. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I just think there's potential for it to occur. So we'll see. I don't think things like Wowls and some of the UK luthiers, you know, JDs, GB, like the one over my, that's JD, isn't it? GB. I don't think those will be quite so effective, because they were made in far lower numbers than what was being produced on a Fender production line. But yeah, I can't see Wells dropping in price anytime soon. But I think for vintage Fenders, vintage Gibsons, maybe the roof or the ceiling point for those prices, maybe it's around the corner, and there could be a bit of a drop. We'll see. We'll see. We'll only know over time. If we're still doing the channel in 10 years, we'll know the answer, won't we? Patrick, just as well you weren't writing for one of the drum mags and had to try to interview Ginger Baker. No, quite right. You're very right. And actually, in November, I'm going to publish the interview I did with Jack Bruce. So anyone that read the interview in Bass Guitar Magazine, you will get the whole. I think it's 45 minutes long. Certainly 30. It might be 45. There's no video. It's the audio, and I'll put pictures and stuff in there with it. I'm going to do the interview with Jack Bruce. It will be the 10th anniversary of me doing that interview. And I've threatened to put it up a number of times, but I think now the time is right, and it's a nice anniversary as well. So keep your eyes open for that. It will be in November. I'll start getting it prepared shortly. And yeah, it was a good interview. He was a little spiky at the start, but he was not a well man. And I hadn't done a huge number of big name interviews at that point. He was kind of my second one, if you don't count the bass guitar show from 2013, when I did a whole bunch of people quickly. But in terms of going and meeting a bass legend, either on a gig or at their residence and what have you, he was the second one I did. So I'm still kind of finding my feet a bit with that, but he was great. I did my research, tried to be as polite and courteous as I could, but you know, Jack Bruce had a bit of a reputation for being a little spiky, but he kind of had earned the right to be so. And like I say, he wasn't well, but he was very sort of forthcoming. So if you want to hear that interview, that will be appearing on the channel. Well, most definitely within the next 2 months. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But no, thankfully, Patrick, I never had to interview Ginger Baker. I don't think I would have wanted to. And I did have a chat with Mark King about him, when would that have been? 2017. It would have been at the time of where that quote came from. And I remember asking him about the Jack Bruce concert that they did in 2015, which was a year after Jack had passed away. And I asked him about what happened with Frank Tonto and Ginger Baker, where they were both drumming on stage at the same time, and Ginger Baker was just so rude. So rude. I mean, Frank Tonto's more than earned his stripes as a UK session drummer of some repute. And Ginger Baker was just throwing a temper tantrum. And apparently he was like it at rehearsals as well. And hard work. You know, okay, you were part of a legendary band, but that doesn't allow you to just be a rude, obnoxious git all your life. But he, that's what he was known for. And I'm sure it wasn't an act. I think he generally was a man of a fiery nature, put it that way, and a lot of things he just didn't like, didn't agree with. I kind of, everything I've ever watched of Ginger being interviewed or talking to people just seems like such a tortured soul, as though he had no concept of how to be happy. And I kind of think he kind of got some weird kick out of trying to make people miserable. But what do I know? I didn't know him. I can only go on what I've seen. But there we go. There we go. But no, I didn't have to interview him, thankfully. Patrick Sweeney, I think he didn't like the fact that Frank was possibly a better drummer. There was probably some of that. I mean, if you watch any video of him being interviewed, he's quite happy to slag off most drummers. But everyone always says, oh, it's just Ginger being Ginger. It's like, well, don't tolerate it. But he would have a fight with you. That's the thing. You probably couldn't talk to him and say, you know, mind your P's and Q's. He would say, well, I'll go then. Fuck a lot of, pardon me. F-U-C-K, the lot of yous. But there we are. A fiery individual, certainly. A great drummer. But I think in his later years, you know, he would always have all that bluster of, oh, he can't play and he can't play and he can't, this is how you do it. And I never really heard anything outside of Cream's halcyon years that would make me think, yeah, actually he is one of the world's best drummers. I don't know. Maybe he was at the time, but I think drumming had moved on. Maybe he never was willing to keep up with that. Who knows? Who knows? But poor Frank Tonto. You have my sympathy when you watch any. If anyone does know what we're talking about, there was a remembrance concert for Jack Bruce in 2015. You can see it on YouTube. You can see clips of it. It was released as a DVD, I think. And yeah, you just see Ginger Baker just going off on one. Wrong place to be doing that. But there we are. He didn't think he owed anything to anyone. That's fine, you know, it's a good way to live your life. But yeah, a little obnoxious maybe. But there we go. I think we're up to date with the live chats. So it's good to see you all. Very welcome here on Brooks's Bass Corner. Live chat number 54. Here on Brooks's Bass Corner, funnily enough. So we're back now every Tuesday through till the 19th of December. Live chats booked in every Tuesday from 8 p.m. here in the UK. All of them are booked in on the YouTube channel. So if there's, whether you want to attend all of them or just check in on a couple now and again, feel free. They're already there. You can click on the links, click. God, let's go see the dentist about this. Click the thumbnail. You can go straight through to those videos already. Feel free to give them a thumbs up if you wish to do so. That's very much appreciated on my part. But there's also a grey box there, and you'll find this on any video that I upload in advance of it being published. You'll see a grey box that says notify me. If you click on that, you'll get a notification from YouTube about 15-20 minutes before a live chat goes live, or if it's a video content like a demo or a review or an interview or a feature video. You'll get notified before the premiere or when it's launched or when it goes live. So feel free to hit those notify me buttons. Patrick, change of subject. That's okay. Martin Sims has been fettling my Enfield. Isn't that something for the doctor, Patrick? You can get a cream for that. Very good. What's he doing? Just making action, intonation, fret dressing, all of that? Or are you having something a little more substantial done? You can't drop a fishing hook with bait on like that and not give us more info. So what are you having done? We need to know these things, of course. Come on, Patrick. Spill the beans. Stacey Ann, my inbox may be. Your inbox may be what? Not sure what that's referring to. Patrick, it had a wiring issue, okay, which he kindly sorted. It wasn't working in green mode. So what, I don't wire come loose? Green mode being 2 single coils, of course. Was that on both pickups or just one? Anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, if you want me to go through what Patrick and I are discussing here, let me know. I have a bass here. It's not an Enfield, but it is a bass with the Martin Sims Super Quad pickup package in. Very interesting, very flexible. But if you don't know what we're talking about and you'd like to know what we're banging on about, say so in the live chat and I'll get that bass out the rack. It's only over there. And I'll explain it to you. Martin Sims being the gentleman who does all the lovely LED work, retrofitting. He made his own range of basses for a number of years called Enfield. Various models in that under that umbrella. Also does a lot of respraying, or did a lot of respraying work, customization of instruments. He did the LEDs actually in this GB Rumor. So they're not on the front for a change. They're actually on the side. There you go. So Martin, if you're watching, I highly doubt it. But if you are, they're still working fabulously, mate. Well done. So if anyone are interested, this is a GB Rumor 5-string, formerly owned by Lawrence Cottle. This was kind of a presentation instrument for Lawrence, made by Bernie Goodfellow. He made him a couple of basses in the early to mid 2000s. Lawrence was trying to decide what sort of instrument he wanted. So Bernie made up a load of prototypes. And then Lawrence went back to him and said, well, I like this and I like that. I don't want that, but I do want that. And it was originally a chocolate brown colour. The quilted maple was there. It was all brown, not my thing. So I had it done in this very nice cherry sunburst. And it went to someone else before it got to me. But it's a great bass. Plays great, sounds great. 35-inch scale. All the GB hallmarks. Very beautiful. But sounds fabulous. Well done, Bernie. I have 4 GBs here. Regular viewers will know I'm a big fan of GB guitars here in the UK. Geez, I read that wrong. Kindly discard. You can delete it, I think. Or do you want me to delete it? No, we'll leave it in, Stace. You're getting keyboard happy, Stacey. That's what's happening. We're coming up to 5 to 9. We've nearly done an hour. That raced by. Blimey. See, we're back in the saddle, you see. It's last week was the preamble to tonight. So last week's live chat was pretty good. We had some good questions last week. If you've got any questions about bass guitars, bass amps, FETs, gig bags, strings, pedal boards, anything you want to know, is your gear not working, got some problems, ask me. If I can help, more than willing to do so. If I don't know the answer, one of these fine people probably do. We will try and help you as much as we possibly can. I'll need to do the obligatory Betsy promo at some point. We'll wait until Lewis gets on, because he always likes a look at the Betsy bass. Bless him. Has anyone been out to any gigs lately? Been to see anyone? I was hoping to go and see Young Gun Silver Fox in a couple of weeks, but unfortunately I'm on a gig that day. I'm doing a festival show, and we don't finish until after 7, and there's absolutely no way I can get from where I am playing to Camden in time for the show starting, and I can't guarantee being able to park in Camden on a Saturday night. So unfortunately, for the first time since 1999, sorry, 2019, I can't go to a Young Gun Silver Fox gig. Then there's Level 42 in October and November. At the moment, I don't know if I'm even going to make any of those shows, because I think I'm gigging every night on the shows that I could make distance-wise. And then I'm going to see, so the singer in Young Gun Silver Fox, a guy called Andy Platts. Hi, Andy. He's also the singer in a band called Mama's Gun. Going to see them at the Jazz Cafe in Camden in first week of December. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't seen them. I know none of the material. Friends have told me it's kind of similar to Young Gun Silver Fox, which is good. But I've not seen that band, so I'm looking forward to that. Something new. Yeah, Larynx Freak, hi, welcome, good to see you. I don't think you've ever been here on the channel before. You're very welcome. Patrick, saw Brand New Heavies at the Rye Jazz Festival on Bank Holiday Monday, and come on, actually Andrew Levy was one of the first name bass players I interviewed for the mag back at London Bass Show 2013. So on that show I did Andrew, Grog Lissy, can't remember the band she's from, Guy Pratt, Peter Hook, Malcolm Joseph from Grace Jones's band, might have been one more, Jonas Hellborg. Fancy that. Yeah, so those were the names I did at the first London Bass Show interview wise, and Andrew Levy was one of those. And he was great, actually. He was really good. A lot of fun. I've always been a Brand New Heavies fan, so I had plenty of questions for him. It was funny, actually, coming up to that London Bass Show, because I'd done all my homework for all the people I was interviewing. I had wads of notes, wads of questions, and I realised after that show, sometimes you don't need to go quite that in depth, because for each person I was interviewing, I still had a huge list of questions when we finished. And you realise, actually doing interviews, once you get past like preliminary sort of 3-4 questions, the rest of it flows itself. So they will respond in a way to certain questions that then leads into the next question and the next question and the next one after that, and so it goes. And usually that is the way it is, but there's never any substitute for having done your homework and having loads of questions in case. Because there were 1 or 2 people I did interview, and we literally, I wouldn't say we ran out of questions, I managed to stagger it so that as we finished, that was the last question on the page. So having done all the homework, all the prep, done all the questions, that was good timing on my part. Yeah, you did enjoy them, although they seemed a little disorganised. It was in the town church, so only 350 50 people, so very intimate. I've heard this disorganized thing leveled at them before. Now, I've never seen them live. I've seen videos, but I've heard this, that since they kind of, I guess, what was that, been mid-2000s, they kind of came, because they kept having personnel changes, and I guess over time it became, and they didn't have a record contract, I don't think, it kind of became less of a going concern, so they gig when they want to rather than in promotion of an album with a record company sort of hot on their heels. But I have heard that before, so that's a shame. I hope the gig was good. Did it sound good? See, I've also heard sometimes on their gigs it can be so bass heavy, whoever they've got doing sound, that it becomes unenjoyable for the audience. It's just so much bass, it's too much. Not Andrew's fault, of course, it's the sound man. But I have heard that as well before in the past. Yeah. So who else has been seeing gigs? Who have you been paying good money to see? What bass players have you been out seeing? Because Lord knows it's been a very busy summer with gigs, certainly here in the UK. So many festivals. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, it's 1 minute past 9. Welcome. Brooks's Bass Corner, live chat number 54, coming to you all the way from London town here in the UK. It's 1 minute past 9. Very welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for joining in. This is the first of our regular Tuesday nights that will be taking place right up to the 19th of December. So about a week before Christmas. So if you wish to join in on the live chat, you are more than free to do so. If you just like watching, that's cool as well. It's all good. If you aren't a subscriber to the channel, please feel free to hit the subscribe button below. Hit the notification bell so you get notifications when I post up new content. And please give the video a thumbs up if you would be so kind. It helps the channel, helps the video, keeps the algorithm happy, and keeps YouTube pushing the channel forward. So all those things are great. If you have never been here on a live chat before, either on my channel or anyone else's, this is the video window. Directly below is the live chat window. Put your cursor, your pointer in the live chat, type your message, press send. It'll pop up here on my screen, on my laptop. So if you're on the mobile app, the live chat window is directly below. If you're on the desktop version, it's that way. Like I say, just put your cursor, your pointer in that window, type your message, press send, and it will fire up here. At the end of the live chat window, at the bottom, you'll see an emoji icon, so feel free to give that an absolute pummeling. It indicates to the YouTube algorithm that you're enjoying the live chat and enjoying the video and getting involved in the conversation. Next to that, you'll see a dollar symbol. That's called Super Chat. Allows you to make a financial contribution to the channel. Keeps the channel running, lubricates the wheels within YouTube and the algorithm, and it just allows all the videos and the live chats and the workshop videos to get made. That's kind of what that's about. Directly below the video window, you'll see a row of icons. You'll see the thumbs up. Again, if you give the video a thumbs up, it'd be great. There's a thumbs down. If you want to give the video a thumbs down, that's your prerogative. But please leave a comment or a message. Let me know why you gave it a thumbs down. I can't improve the videos if you don't tell me what you don't like. Next to that, you'll see a share arrow, so you can share this video out to social media. There's the shop button that allows you to go through to the YouTube side of the merch store. You should also see the merchandise shelf below this video. There's a save button, so you can come back and watch the video at a later date. And then you will also find the love heart with a dollar symbol in, and that's called Super Thanks. Works in exactly the same way as Super Chat. Just allows you to make a financial donation to the channel. If you're enjoying this video or any video here on the channel, or if you find a piece of information that you find really useful, you might just want to say, thanks, Mike. Make a small financial contribution to the channel, but you don't have to. In the description box below, you'll find merchandise links for the UK and Europe store and the US and worldwide store. I've got the old merchandise cap on this evening. Got the Nathan East Bass Legends quote t-shirt. We've got a couple of the others here. We've got the Mark King from Level 42 quote shirt, charcoal grey. We've got Chris Squire from Yes in a navy blue Gildan t-shirt. Nothing but the best. And all the merch currently is on both stores. Feel free to take a look via the links below. Underneath the merch links, you'll find affiliate links for Amazon, Thomann, Gear for Music, and Andertons. So if you've got any bass related purchases and you'd like to try and help the channel in an easy way, if you're just buying some strings, some leads, a new gig bag, a pedal, an amp, a new bass, click on the affiliate links in the description box. Go through, find the item you want, add it to your basket. If you then go through with the transaction, pay for your items, the channel receives a very small affiliate commission. And all those small affiliate commissions go in to make a bigger commission. That's kind of how it works. So just by buying a set of strings, you are actually helping to keep the channel going. So I'll say thank you in advance for anyone that's wants to do that, or if you want to buy merchandise or even do a super chat or a super thanks contribution, feel free. Patrick, let's say there was a lot of faffing about and no one was quite sure what Simon Bartholomew was going to do next. Oh dear, was he drunk? Was he on something else? Vocals could have been louder, very good drummer. I don't know who their drummer is these days, and I don't know who they've got on vocals because they've swapped female vocalists many times. Is it still India Davenport? Kev Smith, Mike, went to Ealing Blues Festival, saw some great young bands, fabulous. The headliners were the Manfreds. In my opinion, I guess you've meant there, they ought to call it a day. 80-year-olds singing doo-wah diddy. Yeah, it's the Stones can get away with it. Probably Manfred Mann can't, but they've got to earn a crust. That's the thing. And if people pay to go and see them, people pay to go and see them. I'll agree with you. There are some performers who really maybe should just sort of call it a day and retire gracefully. But for a lot of these guys, this is all they know. Some of them have got like side businesses, side projects and stuff. But for a lot of the older performers, for some of them, this is all they've ever done. And I guess I'm kind of a similar mind that I'll do this until I physically can't do it. But my plan for me is to have the YouTube channel for as long as possible, and that runs alongside gigs and recording and everything else that I do. So, you know, hopefully you guys will join me in the travel, on the journey. Oh, my mum, Susie Quattro, going on tour with Effie and Singer. Do you know who and tour when? I don't, Mum. Google it. I've told you many times, Google is your friend. Just put in Susie Quattro tour into Google and it'll tell you. I can't imagine you'd want to go and see that. But Patrick Sweeney, how did you become an endorsee for Rotor Sound? Did they come to you or did you go to them? I went to them. I already had a relationship with Jason Howe through the magazine. And actually, when I first started playing, so we're talking 1987, I bought my first set of replacement strings in 1988. And it was a set of Rotor Sound swing bass 66s, 4505 gauge, John Entwistle on the packet. And those were the first strings I ever bought. And they were great, except the G string snapped within about a week, which wasn't great. And I used them for probably 2 years. And then I started using Bass Centre Elites because I was going to the Bass Centre a lot. And I'd buy, I say in bulk, I'd buy like 5 sets at a time. So I used Elites for years and years and years. I then had a deal with Elites for about 6 months or so. And I was very happy with them. And then Lee Pomeroy, who obviously people will know now from Take That and Yes and Rick Wakeman's band and I mean a million things, ELO, I mean where does it stop? The guy's phenomenal. Lee used to work at Rock Bottom in Croydon, South London, and I think he had just got an endorsement with Piccato, And I went in there, and he knew I was a reasonably busy bass player. And he said, come here. Here, have a set of these. And he gave me a set of Picato steel round wounds, I think 4000s. He said, oh, you'll love them. I put them on. I did love them. They were great. Very different feel and different sound to the Elites. And I thought, you know what? I really just want to use gear that I like. I don't want to have deals and do things because for the sake of having them, you know. If it was a difference between having a deal or using something I'd like, I'd use something I like. Because invariably deals, okay, you might get something a bit cheaper. You're not going to get loads of stuff for free. You're just not. That whole thing stopped long ago, really, unless you're a big name. And so I contacted Picato to see if they would consider giving me a deal. It wasn't that I was ungrateful for the Elite deal. I just thought these Picato strings are fabulous. And Picato said, yes, absolutely. Here's your indoor C number. Here's the price list. Order what you want. So I did. I used to do string orders about every 3 months. And at the time, from that point, so late 97 through till I stopped using them in 2015, I was doing loads of gigs anyway. So I was burning through strings quite a lot. I mean, back then I'd get 20 to 25 gigs out of a set, maybe. And so I was very happy with Picatos. And then around about 2013, I started to get batches of strings where the E string and sometimes the A would be virtually dead out of a brand new set. And there's nothing more annoying because they're the strings you're going to play most of the time anyway. And I'd send them back. I'd contact them and say, you've sent me these strings, but the E string is dead. And I've checked each one out of the packet. The rest of the strings are great, but the E's are dead. Send them back, we'll send you new ones. So they did. And they were dead too. And I was just in the back of my mind, I was like, if this doesn't change, I'm going to have to leave. And it coincided at the start of 2015 that Picato were about to cease trading. Now the brand name now resides with Strings and Things, because Strings and Things at that time owned Picato, I think. I think it was John and Pete Lunny, I think. And so they already owned it, as well as doing all the Ernie Ball stuff and the Music Man stuff. But they were winding the company up, I think, because the rent on the contract on the building that Picato had in Wales was, the lease was coming up and they weren't going to renew it. And in the end, actually, Rotor Sound bought a load of their string machines. And I was thinking, I'm going to have to start looking for another string company anyway. And it just coincided that I got a letter through saying, we won't be producing Picato strings from this date. And I thought, okay, well, now's as good a time as any to start looking at strings. And I hadn't really done a string investigation for ages because I'd been very happy with the Picatos. So I took about, it was about 400 quid of my own money and bought loads of different brands of string, my favorite gauges. And then I tried steels, nickels, different variations of a couple of different gauges, different brands, and consistency across all the different bases I had at the time. I felt the Rotor Sounds were the best for me. I liked the feel, I liked the tonality, and I'd kept in touch with Jason quite a bit through the magazine and also through the bass guitar show and what have you. And I had been at a Billy Sheehan clinic at Guitar in Epsom in September 2014, and there was a big story. I was talking to Jason about it, and he presented me with a load of the foil packs, and I said, what are these? And he said, oh, this is the new packaging. He told me the story about why they'd moved from plastic and paper envelope sleeves over to this foil packaging. And he said this will maintain the life of these strings a whole lot better. Consistency is better. We've addressed everything with the machines. He said, I've personally re-engineered the machines and got my hands dirty in how the winding process happens. He said, I guarantee you now, these will be the best rotor sounds you've ever played. So I went and bought some, and yeah, they were. And at the time, the basses I was using on most gigs, strung them up. They were just great, just really, really good. So I contacted Jason, and then I saw him at the Bass Guitar Show in 2015, and I said, okay, how do I become an endorsee or an artist for you? This is what I've done. I've gone and spent all this money, and you know the work I do, you know all the gigs I do, you know the bands I play with. Would I be something that you'd be interested in taking on board? He said, yeah, absolutely. There's the I don't think it was a contract. I think it was like a confirmation email, and then he sent all the stuff through, and here we are 8 years later. I'm very happy with Rotor Sound. No problems. I've had no bad sets at all. Great product, consistently. I rely on, you know, I've had no dead strings. The backup is great. Yeah, I've got nothing derogatory to say about Rotor Sound. I'm very happy with them, and that's it. Price wise, there was a big hike just after COVID. Certainly the strings I had with Piccato were considerably cheaper than Rotor Sound, but I'd rather pay a little extra for something I really like than get loads of cheap or free strings and they're just not very good. What's the point? What's the point? You know, I know a lot of players who willingly will just take a cheap deal. Well, I can have a new set of strings every gig, yeah, but they don't sound very good. Or, you know, they're not reliable. So, yeah. So that's my thing, Patrick. I'm sure if you approach Jason, if you're looking for an endorsement, he'll ask you to send stuff through, and then he'll say yes or no. But there we go. There we go. Mum, female. Right, that's what you meant to put in your message. Okay. Kerry Brooks, those were the days. Yes, very good. Thank you. Keith Doherty, years ago, I tried to set Piccato strings. First night sounded great. Second night, they were dead. When was that, Keith? I wonder if that might tie up with what I was experiencing in the mid-2010s. Or was it further back than that? I'd never had really any dead strings from Piccato until around about 2013. And they couldn't put their finger on what was the problem. The only thing I could say was maybe they had some Duff alloy or Duff materials that they were winding the strings with. I don't know. Cass, thought I'd drop in, say hi. Welcome. I'm presuming that's not Cass Lewis. It could be. Whoever you are, Cass, good to see you. Thank you for joining in on the live chat. You're very welcome. Keith Doherty, I use Rotor Sounds on most of my basses. RS66 LC 4095 gauge. I know them well. I've got a bunch of them on the workbench. A wise choice. Well done. I think late 90s, early 2000s. It might have just been a rogue set, Keith. Might just been a rogue set. I had no problems with Piccato the whole time I had them. They were great. I'd place an order. The order would be with me either next day or day after. Just really consistently good strings. And then they just hit a patch of not being. You can still buy Piccatos, but they're not made where Piccato used to be. I don't know who makes them now, but they're still sold through Strings and Things distributor here in the UK. Patrick Sweeney, I should ask Jason as they aren't many miles from me. Well, there you go. Get to it. I will warn you, the artist price isn't hugely reduced. You may find sometimes deals at stores or online, like sellers on eBay, Amazon, where you may find occasionally, if you buy in bulk, you'll get a cheaper price than the artist price. I actually had that earlier in the year. I went and bought a load from PMT in January when they had a sale on. I was getting sets at £11 each, which was undercutting what my artist price was. And there we go. Keith Doherty, maybe put me off them at the time. Always, you buy a set of strings and they're dead or there's a problem with them, they will put you off. And actually, I found that when I spent 400 quid of my own money, and some notable string brands were dreadful. They were really dreadful. Either they just didn't work with the basses I was using, or they just felt horrible, or they just died really quickly. And yet, like I say, the rotor sounds at that time, 2015, were just great. It was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. So yeah, and obviously if you're following the bass string experiment series here on the channel, I can say that bass, I'll get it out again for the latecomers. So this Status Empathy bass has a set of Rotor Sound Swing Bass 66 4000 steel round wounds on that have been on it since July the 27th or 28th last year, 2022. Here we are in 2023. It's the same strings. E and the A string are fairly dead. D and G string, all right. It's the 3-band EQ that's getting me by at the moment. So far they've done 63 gigs. By the end of this weekend, they'll have done 65. So if that's not a good enough advertisement for these strings, I don't know what is. So when I say I've done 65 gigs, that has been anything between an hour and 2 hours. They've not been used for rehearsals or home practice. They haven't been cleaned. They've had no products put on them to try and extend the life. I've literally just gone from one gig to the next. But yeah. And if you don't believe me that they're the same strings, if you watch the how to make your Status Empathy bass play better and the very first how long does a set of Rotor Sound bass strings last, you'll see that I mark up these silk windings with a black felt tip pen. Those windings and that mark are still there. It's exactly the same set of strings. So there we go. My only thing with these at the moment is occasionally in Uncle Funk we do Forget Me Nots by Patrice Rushen, which is a slap line. The E and the A string have kind of given up the ghost. There's literally no response, like bounce back. When you slap a string, there's an element of bounce back. There isn't. It's literally donk, and that's it. That's all you're getting, which makes for not a great playing experience, I have to say. But they are what they are, and they're still sort of soldiering on. So yeah, you can. Sustain's okay because it's a graphite bass with a powerful EQ, but oh. Yeah, there we go. Happy days. Patrick Sweeney, great bass line, that song. Yes, it is when you've got strings that aren't dead. But and it doesn't matter how hard you hit them, they're not bouncing back. It is like an old bit of rope, that E string. But the EQ is getting it through. Yeah, there we go. Oh, and I'll also forewarn you, Patrick, I don't know what gauge you like and what type of string. There are a couple of products within the Rotor Sound range that have gone markedly up in price. I've got on my Lakeland Skyline over there half wounds, well, they're called pressure wounds in the Rotor Sound catalogue. They have gone up. Big time. They're like nearly 45 to £50 a set. So, and even at artist price, they're expensive, put it that way. So I don't know what your preference is. I presume you're kind of like me. Still round wounds, keep it simple, get a good tone, stick with them. But I have different strings on different bases here, so but those half wound, the pressure wounds are great strings, but they've gone up in price since lockdown, big time. So my purchasing of those has ceased for the imminent future. Just stick to rounds and flats. 4000 round wound steel. There you go, man after my own heart there. Although I will use 4500 and 5s depending on the instrument. Yeah, I'm frimacking, sorry. So that will be coming back out on Thursday. And I'm playing a wedding in the centre of London with Uncle Punk's Disco Inferno. There we go. There we are. So if you've got any questions about basses, bass guitars, amplifiers, speakers, combos, effect pedals, gig bags, straps, cleaning materials, pedals, of course, feel free, let me know. Put your insertion point or your cursor in the live chat window, type your message, press send, I'll reply to it as soon as it pops up. My sister, how is the boy doing? She's meaning our dog Charlie. You probably heard him barking in the background. Yeah. It's got to that time in the evening when he suddenly takes on the he suddenly becomes like Damien out of The Omen. He gets hyper energetic and he thinks that's playtime. So normally we get the football out and start playing with him in the garden and wear him out, because once you get him from a bit of football for 20 minutes, it's like someone's taking the batteries out of him. He just falls asleep. He's all right. He's okay. He's all right. Patrick, same here. I have different gauges on different basses. Exactly. You only learn this stuff by doing it. My Fenders and my Stingrays have 4505s. I've got a couple of basses with flats, a couple of basses with half wounds. But predominantly for most of my gigging stuff, it's still round wounds. It just depends which bass and which gauge. Do that today. Happy birthday, Fred. You've been 77. You're going to make a few bob tomorrow, mate. The first of Freddie's possessions going up for sale at Sotheby's tomorrow. They consider his piano that Bohemian Rhapsody and a few other things were written on. It's going to reach 3 million quid tomorrow. That's nice, because I've got the bass amp it was recorded on. But there we go. Don't think I'll be getting 3 million quid for mine though. And also, got to say, you know, sad to hear the passing of Bill Bartolini, who died over the weekend. Fabulous pickups, fabulous circuitry. You know, along with EMGs, Bartolini and EMGs were the two standard bearers for replacement pickups. DiMarzio's as well, of course. Through sort of 70s, 80s and 90s. So very sad. Kev Smith, Mike, have you thought about doing bass setups as another string to your bow? Yes, I did. I do. I do setups and cleaning stuff. I just don't really advertise the fact. If someone asks me and I can do it what they want, I'll do it. There have been a couple of people who are subscribers here to the channel and I've done their basses for them. Actually, before I started doing the channel in 2020 while we were in lockdown, I literally watched every video from Dave's World of Fun Stuff and started making notes on how to do setups and all of that stuff. I steer clear of electronics and pickups because I'm not great with that sort of stuff, and it can be a real can of worms when you start getting involved in electronics in basses, and I just don't have the time, patience or inclination to want to do it. But making a bass look great and play great, that I'm up for. So while we were in lockdown in about May, June, early July in 2020, I literally pulled all my basses out of the rack and off their hangers here and took them into the garage. Had I had the foresight, I'd have filmed it all because it would have made great content. But I didn't know I was going to do a YouTube channel, and I set up every bass, restrung the bass. We didn't know if we were ever going to get out and gig again. Some of us, we might not have ever lived to see the end of the year. So I was doing all these setups and stuff, and it was while I was doing all that that the idea of doing the channel came to fruition. And I think it might have been I was working on my Spectre, and I was cleaning frets, cleaning the fingerboard, and I just thought, Brooksy's Bass Corner. And that was it. It didn't even take 10 seconds of thought. It literally just came off my tongue. It's like, Brooksy's Bass Corner. Well, that's it, isn't it? Right. That set the wheels in motion, got me thinking, did my research for a month, and then launched a channel. And yeah, so I'll put it out there, Kev Smith. If anyone in the sort of London or southeast area of England, if you've got a bass wants setting up, you want it to look a bit better, give it a bit of a spa day, if you want to call it that, I do all that. So if you have a bass, maybe it's just been in a bag or a case, just been put to one side, you want to give it a new lease of life, contact me. You can do it via the social media, you can do it via community tab, or you can send it via email, Brooksy's Bass Corner 2020@gmail.com, and we can discuss what you want to do. But as I said, I don't do pickups, I don't do electronics. You want that stuff done, go to people that do it. I don't do any of that. But if you want your bass to have a bit of a new lease of life, and we can talk about some different hardware, maybe different gauge of strings, the setup's not right, neck relief is all over the place, I can do that. And I'm happy to do that. And I can price it up once you tell me what you want, and I get an idea how long it's going to take to do it and what's involved, and then we go from there. So yeah, and if you want to have an idea what I do, then by all means have a look at any of the workshop videos here on the channel. There's a playlist for workshop stuff, it's all there. Keith Doherty, I found the double ball end rotor sound strings have gone up. Yep, that's another one. I got a set on Amazon about £38 earlier this year. Yeah, I can't even remember what my artist is, but it went up. That and the half wounds definitely, and flat wounds are through the roof, nearly 50 quid. But there we are. But great product. I can't say any less than that. They are great. Stacey Ann, I have Barts on my SB900. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And they probably make that bass even better. That will really, or they will really accentuate the woody tones, mid-range punch that you get on that bass. I wish the handle was on the other side, for God's sake. There we go. Scott, good to see you. Thank you for liking the Instagram posts. I haven't caught one of these lives in a while. You'd have had trouble doing so, Scott. I've only done 3 over the summer. We stopped at the end of May, and then we did 1 at the end of each month. So we did 1 in June, 1 in July, 1 last week, which was August, and now we're back in every Tuesday between now and the 19th of December. Hope all is well with everyone. Thanks, Scott. I hope everything is good with you. And I hope your son's playing that bass as well. It is so burpy. She's talking about her Aria SB900 bass. Exactly. Good stuff. Cheers, Scott. Thank you for all the support. So again, for those who have been lost in the wilderness while summer's been on, we have a new range of merch here on the channel. So we have, these are called Base Legend Quote shirts. There are shirts and there are mugs. So basically we have 4 at the moment. Lee Sklar, the man with the greatest beard in popular music. Mr. Mark King of level 42. We've got Chris Squire from Yes. And we've got the one I'm wearing, which is Nathan East. So if you want to see how that all looks, it's all very good. And basically these are quotes taken from interviews that I did with the appropriate base legends. And as I explained earlier, we all get bombarded on our social media feeds on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram with people trying to sell fake t-shirts and fake merch and all that. There's nothing fake about any of these, okay? I'll explain how I can do these and then you'll know where I'm coming from. So when you see people advertising on the social media thing and they're going, oh, who would like this t-shirt? And all they've done is go into a graphics program, taken a t-shirt template and put a graphic on and then saved it and then pumped it into Google Ads, and that's what's pumping out. You can't actually buy those shirts. They haven't got any of them printed. It's all nonsense, you know, on the most part. So why am I doing these shirts? Well, this was an idea I had long ago. I thought, you know what, I'd love to actually be able to buy shirts with famous bass player quotes on. It was something I wanted. And I thought, well, I've done the interviews, I can use the quotes. But I didn't know what the legal standpoint was. So I did some investigation. I own the copyright on the interviews, okay? Even though the publisher commissioned me to do the interview, in my contract, I own the copyright on anything I wrote for either Bass Player Magazine or Bass Guitar Magazine. So that's all cool. However, if you use, whether it's a famous person or it can be, you know, Mrs. Miggins down the street, if you use a quote of theirs in order to produce something, in order to make money, you have to have their permission to do so. Apologise for the minor burps this evening. I had a quite fabulous curry for dinner. Keep getting the old, oh, yeah. So if you use someone's quote, you have to get permission from that person in order to use it. Well, thankfully, the interviews I did with these 4 people went very well. And I remain on a talking basis with 3 of them. Obviously, one of them I can't because he's passed away. So I contacted Leland Sklar, I contacted Mark King, and I contacted Nathan East, and all 3 of them said, Mike, if you can produce some t-shirts and make a few bob out of it, go for it. Absolutely, no problem at all. So I have those emails, I have the confirmation, it's all above board. So if you'd like one of these shirts, there's also a range of mugs. There's white ones with coloured handles and black ones. The shirts, it is just t-shirts. I'm not doing hoodies or anything else, but there's, I think there's like around about 20 to 25 different t-shirt styles, different manufacturers, both on the UK and Europe store and the US and worldwide store. So the way you go about it is find which of the quotes you like, whether it's Nathan East, Chris Squire, Mark King, or the Lee Sklar quote. And you then pick the item that you want the quote to go on. So, you know, whichever t-shirt style, then pick your colour, pick your size, add it to your basket. Bob's your uncle. There you go. So at the moment there's 4. I'm hoping I'm going to extend that to sort of 8 or 12 over time, but I'm just going to wait and see if these are popular or not. If they're not, no one else buys them, fair enough. I'll know no one's really interested in these. But at the moment they're going okay. I can't give the game away, but they're doing okay. So if you'd like one, go into the description box below. Merchandise links. There's the UK and European store, the US and worldwide store. Literally click on there, go to the design section, and you'll see these Bass Legend quotes. And like I say, it's just t-shirts and mugs at the moment. So feel free to have a look around. You might find some of the other designs you like as well. Help yourself, it's all there. What are you saying beautiful to? My t-shirt? That's my sister. Keith Doherty, just wondering, did you get a chance to check out the NUX MBP5 bass preamp DI? Not yet, Keith. I will. It's on my list of to-dos on my desk. Just a little bit tied up at the moment because I've had quite a load of gigs in and still got quite a few this month, but also had a lot going on regarding my father-in-law's funeral, which is next week. So there's lots of stuff going on here at Brooks Towers at the moment. I haven't checked that out, but I will. It's on my list of to-dos on my desk, so I will. Keith Doherty, no worries, just wondering. Cool. I will get round to having a look. So yeah, here we are. It's 20 to 10 here in London, here in the UK. Hope you're all safe and well out there. Hope you had a good summer. It's still kind of summer here. We've had rampant temperatures for a couple of days, and it looks like it's going to continue through till next week, which is great because we haven't really had much of a summer here in the UK. We had a few weeks at the end of May and kind of through to the middle of June, and then to say it's been patchy would be an understatement. It's been fairly rubbish, but it's good this week. So I've been getting jobs in the garden and around the house done while the weather's good. So the fences are painted, the decking is sorted out, shed's getting done tomorrow, grass is cut, any remaining leaves around the whole property have been hoovered up, and we're good to go for autumn. So yeah, my sister, no, you're burping. I'm trying not to do it, but there we are. It's also the talking. When you talk constantly and you're on camera, it's different than when you're talking to someone like stood next to you. It's the weirdest thing. It's I've noticed it on live chats because you're constantly in a flow, and you get out of breath really quick. But this doesn't happen when you're talking to someone that stood next to you. But when you're on a live chat, because I'm thinking like 20 seconds ahead, what's the next thing I'm saying? What's the next thing I'm saying? So your brain's going at one speed, your voice is going at another, and you end up either losing your breath or you catch your breath. But there we go. A sibling jab on the chat. Yeah, well, there's lots of things about my sister I could mention, but I won't. There we are. She's coming to do some dog sitting for me on Saturday, so there we are. She will be sprung upon by Damien through there. No, it's called Charlie actually, but he has the wherewithal of Damien in The Omen. You can't imagine talking into the ether. No, I remember saying the same thing once, Steve. But here we are, 3 years on, and the channel's doing nicely, thanks. Yeah. So there we have the Brooks' Base Corner mugs. There's a whole load of different mug designs. In fact, I think every design that we've got on the merchandise, you can have a mug of. They're there. Again, find the design you like. Pick which item you want it printed on. If it's clothing, pick your size, pick the colour. That's it. Away you go. So obviously this weekend's gigs, I've got Uncle Funk, so it'd be the Empathy. I've got Queen Tribute on Friday, so the Precisions are coming out for that. And then there's a function gig on Sunday, which I might use the Empathy for, or I might take one of the other buttes that we've got here. We'll see. I'll decide on the day. The joy I've got on Thursday is we're playing in the centre of town, but I don't have to take any backline because in Uncle Funk we play on in-ears, so I've just got pedal board. So I can travel light. I can get the tube in. So it's just a bass, leads, small pedal board, costume in rucksack. That's pretty much it. In-ears. And we're good to go. So travelling light on Thursday. Scott, my little dog bites me on the middle finger today. I got to play bass tonight with a band-aid on it. Oof. I haven't had to do that in many years. It's really annoying, and it'll gum up your string or strings as well, as the adhesive on the plaster will come off. Good luck with that, Scott. Maybe put a plaster on and wrap some tape or gaffer tape around it. You might find that works. Don't let your finger go blue though. If you do, you're cutting off the blood supply. Don't do that. Little dog took me out. Yeah, I know the feeling. Ours doesn't really bite. He does play biting, but he doesn't bite. But I don't know what this whole hyper energetic performance is every night around this time. It's a little odd because our last two dogs didn't do it. You can laugh, Stacey Ann. We're on to the hard stuff, the water bottle next. So here we are, 10:15 in London town. This is live chat number 54 here on Brooks's Base Corner. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you to the new people who are joining in this evening. Thank you very much to all the new subscribers here on the channel. I've had rising numbers of subscribers over about the past 3 weeks. I don't know what's caused that, but I'm very grateful for it. So thank you very much. If you weren't aware, latest video on the channel came out on Sunday, which was a soundbite demo of a Spectre NS Pulse Series 1 bass in cinder red sandblasted finish. If you haven't seen it, there's a link to it earlier on in the live chat. I put it in the live chat window. It's been rather popular. It's doing rather well. The analytics are good. And I've had some nice comments, although not on the video. I've had the comments on social media. But very good. Stacey, burning off his dinner. Maybe. He doesn't eat a huge amount. It's a time thing. It's definitely a time thing. Indy had his after dinner. Indy was my old dog. He belonged to my sister for the first 18 months of his life. So I blame you for that then, sister. Yes, he had his after dinner run around the table for about 25 minutes, like a loon. Scott M, that was a beautiful bass in that video. Yeah, oh, thank you. Yes, it was. Played great. And the bizarrest thing is, you look at the price, I think they're only £900. It's criminal. Sounds amazing. And I'm a big Spectre fan. But that Pulse, NS Pulse, great, really great bass. Bolt on neck, really bouncy in its tone, but you'd expect nothing less of a Spectre. Pair of humbuckers, EMG humbuckers, 2-band EQ, very good. There will be a review video for that bass shortly. I've just got to go back in and edit the remaining footage, do the review section, and that will be ready to go. In fact, there'll be a whole load of new demos and reviews coming. I've been filming. When did I do that? I think it was Sunday evening. I did a load of filming for that. So new reviews, new demos. Keep your eyes peeled, gang. They're imminent. So we've got 14 people watching at the moment. Excellent. Thank you very much, gang. Welcome back after the summer. Scott, all of my custom basses have set necks. Have you tried a set neck bass? Yeah, I've got one right behind me. So JDs have set necks. People always think they're through necks, but they're not. They're set necks. And yeah, so here we have a JD Supernatural Series 3. JD's made famous pretty much by Mark King, of course. Tony Iommi used to play a JD SG copy. George Anderson from Shack Attack, big JD user. Obviously, Mark King stopped using them in 1987, and has been using them again since we came out of lockdown. Great basses. Not all of them have fabulous necks. I used to own one. I had a Series 2, and I only kept hold of it for about 4 years. I spent more time setting it up, trying to get it to play well, than I ever did play it. And it just became really annoying. It had major issues, so it had to go. Mum, can we see Charlie? No, you can't, because I'd have to open the door and then go through to the lounge and then get him, and it would just cause all sorts of mayhem. So no, and he seems to be settled, and he's not causing mayhem. So, as they say, let sleeping dogs lie. You'll see him next week. Yeah, so Scott, yes, this is a set neck bass. It looks like a through neck, but it isn't. It's a set neck. But very good it is too. And actually, when I was doing magazine reviews, we had quite a few basses come through that had set necks. I don't really have a preference on any sort of neck design. I'm quite sort of flexible. I just take each bass on its merits. So, Keith Doherty, what's the difference? Okay, bolt-on neck. You know what a bolt-on neck is. Generally, a bolt-on neck will have a fair degree of bounce in the tone. The idea on through necks was that you're transferring all the vibration from the strings through the wood, through the neck, through the body, and then the pickups are taking that, pumping it out to an amp. Set neck is kind of the middle ground. So kind of the neck sort of comes to the point of the body, but it isn't the... So what it's called is a billet. So when you have a neck that's made up of laminates, it's called a billet. So generally with a through neck, that is a long, it's the neck and the strip of wood, and then wings are glued onto the sides. Yeah, so a set neck doesn't go all the way through the body. It gets to a point. So what you will have is the laminates. You've got the body core, this neck, sort of multi-laminate section, and the neck will probably come to that pickup. So the timber isn't running the whole way through, it's just going to there. Some people think they can hear a difference. To be honest, the way pickups and active circuitry is now, you might be hard pressed to hear a difference, to be honest. And actually some basses, the preamp and the pickups literally blow over anything that the timbers are contributing. So, you know, I've always said, take every bass on its merits. I don't have a preference. I love bolt-ons, I love through necks, I love set necks. It's just whether a bass plays great, feels great, and sounds great to me. And that's the way I go on that. Patrick Sweeney, just got my dog in from the gardeners. He's barking at foxes across the fields. I know the feeling. I don't think the fox alert has quite happened yet. No doubt that's to come. Keith Doherty, right, never heard that term before. What, set neck? Usually it's like that, like I say on here, the neck comes in and then it's kind of glued into there. And then the body is made from there, and that's all glued together. There'll be a Google article on it somewhere if you want more clarity on it. But yeah, I mean, unless you hook things, you know, electronics, and you can get readings of, you know, wave files and sound graphs, you're not going to see necessarily or hear the resonance and the differences, but it's just an experience thing. Scott M, take every bass on its own merits. Agree 100%. I try to speak the truth as I see it, Scott. And I hope any of you that have watched the new soundbite demo like the little thing at the beginning. So I've reworked the soundbite demos a bit. Had a bit of a mental block on how I was going to change it for a while, and I was like, I've got to make this more zippy, a bit more bang, bang, bang. And so at the front end, now the intro is half the length it was. And I hope you like the part where I say basically these demos are straight to the point, zero filler. I'm not padding these videos out with any sort of gumph, and you know, there are other bass channels I could mention who do that. They pad their videos out. Not for those demos. I'm not going to do that. So the reviews are longer. Reviews tend to be 8 to sort of 12 minutes, sometimes even a little longer than that. But the demos, no. They will be literally a audio and video demo of that bass. You want a 5-minute demo to see what that bass is like, how it sounds. That's what those videos are all about. Patrick Sweeney, have you tried one of the all aluminium basses yet? All aluminium. Oh, Alusonic. No, I haven't. I know Bass Direct have got some. But no, I haven't had a chance. I haven't even been in Bass Direct since January. They certainly didn't have them then. I think they started coming in about springtime, March, April. But I haven't been even anywhere near. I don't think I've been to Birmingham since January. Don't think so. No. I will go and check those out. And actually I will get some in from Bass Direct and do some demo videos. Now that I've got the bit between my teeth to get all of that demo review content out, I'll clear up the ones I've still got left to do here, and then I will go and pay a visit to Bass Direct and see what they will loan me for a couple of days. The problem I had when I was doing that, even during lockdown, was I'd bring a load of basses away from Bass Direct, and literally the moment I got through the door, the phone would ring and Mark would say, you know that bass you've just taken? Yeah. We need it back, like now. And it's like someone's bought it, and it's like, I'm not coming back today. I will treat it with the utmost care, as I do anyway. Anything that isn't my own, or anything that is my own, but anything that doesn't belong to me gets treated with the utmost care when I'm doing stuff for the channel or the magazine. And I took it back the next day. But every time that happened, nuts. But yes, Patrick, there will be some of those on here shortly, I hope. There we go. It's coming up 10 o'clock here in London. Been going for nearly 2 hours. Thanks for all the questions, all the comments. I'll do the quick preamble, which I do on the hour. So, okay, if you've not been on a live chat before, you're very welcome here. Brooks's Bass Corner, live chat number 54 on a Tuesday evening, all the way from London town in the UK. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you're safe and well. Hope you've had a good summer. Hope your bass playing's going great. If you've got any problems with your gear, want to ask any questions, feel free here on the live chat. It's what we're here for. If you're on the mobile app, live chat window is directly below. If you're on the desktop version, it's that way. Literally put your cursor, your pointer, mouse, whatever you want to call it, in the live chat window. Type your message, type your question, type your comment, press send. It comes here. I see it on my window, then I can respond to it. If you're looking for advice or help, I'll do my very best to help you as much as I can. If I can't, or I don't know the answer, I'll open it up to the rest of the guys here on the live chat. Chances are someone here will know how to solve your bass playing problems. So at the bottom of the live chat window, you'll see there's an emoji icon. Feel free to give that an absolute pummeling like Stacey does. It shows the YouTube algorithm, A, that you're enjoying the live chat, and B, that you're getting involved, which is fabulous. Next to that, you'll see a dollar symbol. That's called Super Chat. So if you want to help the channel, want to keep it going, if you wish to make a small financial contribution to the channel, you can do that using Super Chat. Very much appreciated. Thank you to all the people that helped last week. I think we had 3 or 4 last week. So thank you very much if you were one of those. Fabulous stuff. Okay, now below the video window, you'll see a row of icons. So there's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Please give the video a thumbs up. If you're going to give it a thumbs down, that's fair enough. It's your prerogative. But please leave a comment as to why you don't like the video. I can't make videos better if I don't know what the problems are. So next to that, you've got the share button. So you can share this video or any video from the channel out to social media, email, website, however you wish. That's cool. There's a shop icon there which takes you through to the YouTube version of the merchandise store, and you'll also see below the video a merchandise shelf. So if you want to buy any Brooks's Base Corner merchandise, feel free. You can do it that way, or you can go into the description box and click on the links for the UK and European merchandise store, or the US and worldwide store based on where you are in the world. There's also a save button below the video, so if you want to come back and watch it at a later date, you can. There's also a love heart in a dollar symbol inside a love heart. That is called super thanks. It's exactly the same thing as super chat in the live chat window, but because we're a monetized channel, every video here on Brooks's Base Corner has the super thanks option. So if you watch any video here, maybe a workshop video or a feature video, and some of the information you find useful, if you want to say thank you, just hit the super thanks button, make a small donation. It's up to you. You don't have to. The videos are free to watch, so that's fine. If you're not already a subscriber here, and frankly, why wouldn't you be, feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and make sure if you hit the notification bell that you select the setting that you want. Mum, tell them, right? So my mum hit the notification bell months ago and then wondered why she got no notifications about my videos. I said, what did you set it to? I don't know. She hit the notification bell, but automatically the algorithm selects none. There's 3 settings on the notification bell. None, which means you're just subscribing to the channel, but you're not getting any notifications. There's highlights, which means the algorithm picks out the videos it wants you to know about. And then the third option is all. So every time I post up, I post anything on the community tab, I do an impromptu live chat, I go live at a random time, you'll get notifications for that. That's how that works. And again, if you wish to give the video a thumbs up, that's very much appreciated too. I'm going to sneeze. Apologies. Excuse me. So underneath the merch links in the description box, you'll find affiliate sales links for Thomann, Amazon, Gear for Music, and Andertons here in the UK. How does that work? People ask me all the time, how do affiliate sales links work? So basically, if you've got a bass related purchase, it can be a new bass, a new amp, speaker, strings, straps, gig bag, accessories, pedals, whatever. If you click on any of those links, so whether you're going to buy it from Thomann, Amazon, Gear for Music, or Andertons, click on the link, go through to the retailer, find the item you want, add it to your basket, fulfill the purchase, pay for your item, and then Brooks's Base Corner receives a very small commission from the retailer for that purchase. And so we get a very small affiliate commission. You get the item that you were going to buy anyway. That's how affiliate sales work. Now, underneath the affiliate links in the description box, I'm going too quick, brain's like 5th gear. In the description box, after the affiliate links, you'll find the social media links. You can find Brooks's Base Corner on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now called X, Threads, Be Real, Discord, Reddit, Quora, and TikTok. 9, yeah. So that's where you can find Brooks's Base Corner on social media. Right, done the preamble. That's quite quick. Keith Doctor, yeah, we did that one. Stacey hitting the emojis, excellent. We're up to date, I think. I don't think there's anything else there. Just check on here. I've not missed anything. Nope, we're up to date. Very good. There we are. What's happening with your trip to Oz, Patrick? Is that now booked in? Or are you still waiting to see what unfolds? Sorry, I should be watching the camera and I'm watching my laptop screen because I want to see when messages pop up. Sorry. So we're going to have some pedal video demos coming up. I haven't done any pedal videos for ages. Not through not wanting to, just having a million and one things to do all the time. So there's going to be some videos for these little beauties. Let's do this. Plug for a while. So a bunch of MXR pedals here. So I'll do demos and reviews of these. There's going to be lots of short form social media content for these too. So we have a vintage bass octave. We've got the bass envelope filter. We have the poly blue octave pedal. So all three of those are going to have videos for them shortly. If you want to see them, I can take them out of the box. And then we've got a bunch of Source Audio pedals here. And here we have the C4 synth, the Aftershock, and the Spectrum filter. So, yeah, plenty for me to be getting on with. Right. So if you want to see what these all look like, I can take them out of their boxes. This is the C4 synth. The good thing with all this Source Audio stuff is it runs off its own app. You can go in and literally tailor every parameter in these pedals. Craziness. I can see hours of my life disappearing once I start getting to grips with these. Patrick Sereni, we're going to Oz. We're trying to choose our moment. You know my sister's situation, so it'll be sooner rather than later. I hear you, mate. I hear you. So this is the Aftershock bass distortion. Do. Just checking that one had the adapter. Yeah, it has. Get in there. So yeah, that's the Aftershock. I have to say, I really do like the Source Audio designs. I love their metal front panels and stuff. Your favourite bass synth pedal? It will be when I get round to using it. It's weird. I can remember in May when we were coming to the end of the last sort of round of regular live chat saying, oh, I'm going to do a video of get my pedal train board ready for the festivals. Didn't happen. I've been running off the small one all summer, so that either tells me I don't need the big pedal train board full of pedals, or it's just incredibly lazy. But it wasn't laziness. There was just so much going on, what with my father-in-law, and gigs and like a million things all going on at once. It just didn't happen. What's your go-to one on the pedal board? What synth pedal? Do you know what? I haven't got any synth pedals on my board, and that's the daft thing. I've got about four bass synth pedals. None of them are on the small board that I've done all the gigs with over the summer. So that's the Source Audio Spectrum filter. Yeah, there's one here. Electro Harmonics bass monosynth. There's the Boss SYB3 or SYB5. Can't remember. That's in the effects tub as well. I say tub. I've got a big plastic tub here with all my pedals in. But I think the Source Audio is going to literally hit the floor with everything else. It's just got so much to it. And like I said, you can go in and change every possible facet and parameter of it. But yeah, it promises much. And the fact it's the same app that you use for the other pedals is a godsend, I think. So here's the MXR, what was it? Vintage Bass Octave. So it's the small footprint. You can buy this as like a regular size pedal, but you can also have it as a small version. Okay, the controls are small, but I like the fact that's all the space it's taken up on my board. Very good. Very good indeed. Yeah, that's the base envelope filter. Yeah, typical MXR styling here. Okay. It's quite a dark looking pedal, so get it out of the bag. Sparkly black. What's that one? Controls for dry, effect, decay, hue and sensitivity. Very good. I'll get the bag open. There we go. That's the fella. And the last one is, oh yeah, Poly Blue Octaves. This only came a couple of weeks ago. Been after it for quite a while. And, prices kept going up, and then they dropped back and then go up again. Finally got to a point that I thought, I'll go with that. So this is the Poly Blue Octave. So those controls all light up apparently. And it's got sort of built-in fuzz and phaser capabilities as well. So all good. So demos and reviews of all these. Very, very imminent. But yes, I apologise for the lack of sort of pedal reviews and demos. Really haven't done any for ages. And it's time to rectify all that. There's just so many things to do when you are a one-man band doing a YouTube channel and everything else. It takes up a fair bit of time. There we go. Cool. So it's just coming up 10:15 here in London. Hope you're all well. Just going to have a little drop of water. Very good. There we are. So if there's any of the basses that you know are here, if you've watched live chats before, or you've watched any of the review videos, demo videos, if there's anything you would like to talk about, or you'd like a brief explanation on anything, feel free to ask. Put it in the live chat window, and I'll do my best to accommodate. Got the Brooks's Bass Corner cap on, obviously. Very good. Unfortunately, I couldn't put this in the merch. I think there's like featured merch. It taken all the caps out and replaced them with tote bags. I didn't have a tote bag here. So I think all you've got there is the mug. Even these t-shirts weren't available for me to put in as featured articles, featured items. Although they'll probably appear in the merch shelf, they won't feature in the featured items list. I can't get my head around how YouTube runs the merch side of things. It's a bizarre thing. There's hundreds of t-shirts, yet they very rarely ever put them. They get uploaded from the merch store, but they just don't give me an option to include them on the merch shelf. I don't know. I've had various conversations with Google and YouTube, and they don't know either. They can't come up with any explanations for the questions I have, so I've stopped asking. The best thing is, if you want any Brooks's Base Corner merch, go to the links in the description box and it will take you directly through to the merch stores. It's a lot simpler. Lot simpler, easier to understand, straightforward. Very good. So I don't want to take my eye off the laptop, because I know what's going to happen. I'll start talking and suddenly there'll be a huge load of activity on there, and then I have to catch up. So thank you very much to all the new subscribers. Thank you to the new people here on the live chat. Thank you for joining in. You're always very welcome here. Every Tuesday from 8 p.m. UK time. We'll be here up until December the 19th. Every Tuesday. There's one Tuesday when we won't, and that will be October the 31st. We will be doing it the night before on October the 30th. But other than that, it's every Tuesday. I apologise for all the I can see myself on the screen. The t-shirt's all creased. It's because I'm not hunched, but I'm sat on like a drum stool. It kind of makes you end up sort of leaning forward a bit, so suddenly all the creases in the t-shirt show up. Sorry about that. In fact, while I'm here, let me see if I can find out when the next merch promotions are for you. Yeah, I can. I can. That's not what I want. I want dashboard, don't I? There we are. Right, promotions. Okay. We've done that. Okay, from the 12th of September, so next Tuesday, through to the 17th, which I think, which is the Sunday, it's free standard delivery wherever you are in the world. And then from the 23rd of September to the 28th, it's 20% off everything in both stores worldwide. So any item will have 20% off. Very good. What have I got there? Okay. That's my sister. Good night all. Early start tomorrow. Have a great week. Thank you very much. I'll see you on Saturday when you're dog sitting. So I'll see you around 1 o'clock-ish. M25 allowing. Have a nice night. And like that, my sister vanished. So if you're gigging this weekend, where are you? Where are you going? Which bands are you going with? Where are you going to ply your trade? Let us know. So Thursday I've got Uncle Funk's Disco Inferno in the centre of town here in London, playing a wedding in Covent Garden. And then Friday I'm doing a private event with a Queen tribute in Portsmouth. Saturday we've got a wedding with Uncle Funk's Disco Inferno up in Bishop Stortford. And then I've got a function on Sunday, but I don't have too many details about it at the moment, so I can't divulge any further info because I don't have it. But I'm very pleased that Thursday is a gig in London and I don't have to drive there. I've literally got to get myself to a tube at this end, get the tube in, very, very short walk to the venue, and that's it. Small pedal board, bass, couple of leads, costume. That's about it, really. Spare set of strings just in case. But I think we'll be okay. And that's great. I better do the obligatory Betsy display, hadn't I, really? Here she is. There she is. The Guy Pratt signature Betsy bass from the Bass Centre here in the UK. EMG single coils, ebony fingerboard, burgundy mist sparkle, really. Gloss finish, satin neck. Great basses. Great value for money. I can't recommend them highly enough. There is a demo video, there is a review video already here on the channel. If you want to hear them, you want all the technical spec, it's in the review. If you're looking for a new jazz bass, this could well be what you're looking after. What you're looking for, not looking after. If you don't like the burgundy mist, they do it in a black finish with a black plate. I think it's a black plate. It was a white plate, I can't remember. Outstanding. I said so in the magazine review. I still stand by it. Very good. Well, I think so. So I'll be adding the SWR Super Redhead combo that I bought a couple of months back to the backdrop very shortly. And there'll be some videos on that as well. Yeah. Enough of that. I was looking for the... I needed an extra fret. But I didn't have it. What's that? There we go. How are we all doing? It's getting to the witching hour, isn't it? 10:30. Keith Doherty, do you use any specific brand of leads? Well, I've used whirlwinds since 1996. I've only used whirlwinds. I bought two after I had I'm trying to remember. Did I have some stolen or they just stopped working? I can't remember. Anyway, 1996, September, we were just, I was in a glam rock tribute band at the time. And we suddenly had like a run of shows and I needed to replace my leads. I can't remember, I think maybe one had broken or something. And Flying Pig in Hanwell stocked whirlwinds. No one had told me to buy whirlwinds or anything else. I remember the guy that ran the place said, you won't ever find whirlwinds lacking. He said, I really recommend them. He said, they're a little bit pricey, but honestly, you will just get your money's worth out of them. He wasn't wrong. I'm still using them today. And here we are, sort of 27 years on. And I've bought loads of other whirlwinds, some with angled jacks, some not, and some with braided cables. And they've never gone wrong. I've never had any problems. And they've got lifetime guarantees. And again, it comes down to stuff that's reliable and gets the job done and sounds good. I'm more than happy to sort of shout about the brand. You know, I've never had a deal with them or anything like that. If you went to Whirlwind and mentioned my name, they wouldn't have a clue who you're talking about. But I really love their leads. I don't have any of their patch leads. I've just got like long instrument leads. And but I've never had a problem. They've never gone wrong. I've never had any splice, and Lord knows I've had plenty of things fall onto leads on gigs. But yeah, never had an issue. So I can highly recommend, if you're going to be out doing gigs or you just like playing at home, you want good quality leads, whirlwinds, I can highly recommend them. I think where I bought the last bunch from. I think there were a bunch of different online retailers did offers. Usually I buy things like leads around about the time, the end of the tax year. So if I think I've got sort of room in my expenses to buy some extra bits and bobs, that's when I buy leads. And I think at the time when I last bought some, which probably would have been about 2015, maybe 2016, I bought a bunch. I think they may have been from Was it Andertons? Might have been Andertons. Or it might have been can't remember. There was a retailer. Is it Rich Tone? Maybe. I can't remember. I bought a bunch back in sort of the mid 2010s anyway, and I've been perfectly all right. I've had no problems at all. So if you're looking for a good brand, Keith, Whirlwinds will do it. Yes, they will. I mean, you can chase your tail for things like this. And I know we're always on the quest for the best things and the best tones and stuff, but your ears never get better. Your ears only deteriorate over time through age and use and exposure to loud noise. So you can be chasing the perfect bass tone, and it's like with hi-fi buffs, you know, that always makes me like, oh, well, you know, this amplifier does blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, yeah, but the guy buying it's like 75 years old. Now, I'm all for him buying the best thing that sounds great and all that, but you can't sit him down and do a tonal difference between 5 amplifiers and tell me which one's the best. His hearing is shot. So it's the same thing with gear, leads. You know, you can chase your tail for the best of the best of the best. But if you're a gigging musician, which is what I am and have been predominantly for most of my career, you want reliability. You want good sound, good tone, but you want reliability. You want to be able to plug stuff in and be fairly certain it's going to work and not break down on you. And I've kind of lived by that for a long time, because I think a lot of people can get, certainly in bass as well, because of the frequencies and stuff, people can chase their tails looking for the pinnacle, and I'm never actually convinced they ever find it. And how many times you've read on bass forums and stuff, you know, people out in the audience and they couldn't hear the bass, or they could hear the bass but it wasn't great, or it was the best bass sound they've ever heard. And it's entirely sort of subjective, isn't it? It's so for me, good quality gear that's reliable, doesn't particularly have a tendency to break down, that kind of gets my vote, really. That's what works for me. I don't want to be taking gear backwards and forwards to repair shops. I want stuff that's just going to be reliable and work really well. Like I say, Whirlwinds have done it for me cable wise. I probably won't need to buy any more cables for the rest of my life. So that's a fairly ringing endorsement, if ever I made one, I would say. Any other questions, Keith? I like your train of questioning. Anything else? Any other advice I can impart that you might find helpful? If I can help, I'm more than willing to do so. Anyone else got any other questions while we're here? I can see we've still got 10 people watching, which is great. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Must remember to pack spare strings on Thursday. Because I'm going to have the empathy. At some point, those strings are going to pack up. So I've got to remember to take spares. Joe Goose, you legend, you. Good to see you. Welcome along. Live chat number 54. Hope you're well. Hope you had a good week. Oh, I've forgotten I had that here. Sorry, didn't mention that. There's another of the logo mugs. Got the matching pair. There you go. There's nothing if not choice on Brooks's Bass Corner. So there's the black one with the exploding bass logo, and there's the multicoloured logo on a white mug. Fabulous. Both of those have been in and out of the dishwasher hundreds of times. They don't fade. It's great. Well done, Spreadshirt. Great merch. Well done. Any of you out there that have bought merch already, let the world know. It's good stuff. Is that a nice good fellow there you can see in the background? Yes, sir. GB Rumour 5-string. Formerly Lawrence Cottle's. Well, 2 owners before me. But yeah, how's that grabbing you? Oh, that's the fella. Side LEDs as well, of course. 3-band EQ, pickup pan, volume. 35-inch scale on that low B. Well, all the strings, obviously. Oh. Quite a broad fingerboard, I think you'll agree. Oh wow, I bet that's a 35-inch scale. Yes, it is. Lawrence played a 5-string Yamaha TRB with a 35-inch. I booked in to play my music college. Very good. Now my music college, the one I studied at. Oh, cool. This was one of a number of basses that Bernie Goodfellow. I don't know if they were made for him, but he basically had a bunch of instruments that he'd made at that time. And Lawrence had this for a while, along with like 3 or 4 other basses. Different timbre combinations, different EQs, different pickup windings, all that kind of caper. And from that, he was then going to tell Bernie what he wanted his bass to be. You know, what colour, what features, what timbres. Do you want that sort of nut width? Do you want that? It was all those sort of things. And this was a prototype. He didn't want it, so it went back to Bernie. And then Bernie sold it at a trade show to a guy called Gwilym, who was on Bass Chat. I think he's probably still on there, actually. And he sold it in October 2006. I was just preparing to do my Bonnie Tyler shows at the time. I'd actually planned on taking this with me, but I didn't think I'd be familiar enough with it to do the Bonnie shows, and I was already under the cosh, learning the Bonnie Tyler stuff, using the Stingray with the graphite neck. And all the other depths that had played for them on bass had used a Stingray. So that's kind of what I had to use. So this didn't get to do those shows, which was fine. I did not have time at the time to acclimatise to the bass. Did Lawrence have to pay for them? No, I don't think so, because these basses were for him to try, like Bernie always does with the powder blue bass. He gives that out for people to try and sort of play with at home and on gigs, and then you bring it back, and from that you were able to say, I want a Spitfire or a Rumour, I want that wood instead of that wood. So the prototypes, of which this was one, wasn't for him to keep. It was for him to say, oh, well, I like this or I like that. And then from that, I think he ended up speccing the Daphne Blue Spitfire that he ended up with. And I think he's got another couple of GBs, which he's sort of acquired over time. I don't know. I haven't spoken to Lawrence in years. And the daft thing is his brother and sister-in-law live about a mile down the road in the village. So he is here where I live occasionally, but I've never bumped into him. And I've never bumped into his brother either. I bump into the sister-in-law because she walks her dog where I used to walk my dog. So. Need to redo the action on this. Maybe adjust the neck relief a little as well. That's not good. Yeah. Got a dead spot there. Right. On the workbench with that then. But I do imagine he paid for the Spitfire 5. It's lovely. I do like that finish. There's actually, it is lighter as you get towards the pickups. So it's meant to be a cherry sunburst. I could have done with a bit more orange and yellow in there. Was what it was. I don't know. I'm sure Bernie did him some sort of artist pricing maybe. I don't know. Not my business. But it's monstrous. I can assure you of that. It's very resonant as well. Status versus Goodfellow. Very different basses, mate. Different tones, different technology. Well, I say different technology. Very different sounding circuits. Big time. Really big time. Well, the mark of the pair of them is the fact that for the Uncle Funk shows, which are predominantly the bulk of what I'm doing at the moment and have done since we came out of lockdown, I have an Empathy in one bag and then a Goodfellow in the other. So if I'm not using one, I'm using the other one. Oh, hello. It sings, I tell you. What about the JD? No, JD doesn't lend itself to everything. The GBs and the statuses do. The JD kind of has a tone of its own, and again, I haven't had time to make myself au fait with that yet. And it will come out on some gigs, but it's probably not the tone I want. So if I've got kind of when I'm out, when I'm doing stuff with Uncle Funk, I can kind of play around with the bass tone a bit more than I can with, like, if I'm in a general covers band or if I'm depping for someone. I kind of have to be a bit more sort of specific in nailing down what the bass needs to be doing. Mike, you can make anything sound great. Checks in the post, Joe. But it's kind of, the JD has a very inherent sound to it. And it's no bad thing. It's what it is. It's the character of that bass. But like when I owned the Series 2 that I had, I just found it did not lend itself well to a rocky pub trio, if you can get your head around that. it just simply did not have enough rounded bottom end to push a rock covers band along. Had loads of great mids and stuff, but it just didn't have enough oomph and welly. And yet when I plugged my Stingray in, which I had at the time, that did the job perfectly. So that's what got the nod. But times have changed, so that will be coming out on some gigs shortly. I just need to get to the end of the bass string experiment series and I can start taking it out on some Uncle Funk shows, see how it sounds. But again, I need rounded bottom end. I can't just have a load of honky mids. That's not what that band needs. There's elements where I call on that, especially with the status. But the lovely thing with the status, and you want a mid-range boost, you just flick that switch. I've usually got the sweepable mid. I've already picked the frequency out. Just got to flick the switch. So a lot of the Uncle Funk stuff, I don't even have the mids boosted. Yet for years in my old covers band, I couldn't not have the mids boosted. Night, Kev. Thank you for attending. Good to see you. See you next week, hopefully. Take it easy. Have a good weekend. Am I saying that? It's only Tuesday. Have a good week. No, we're near the weekend. What are you talking about, Mike? Oh. Let's get that back in its cradle. Yeah. So what's the news at Joe Goose Towers? What's going on? Done any gigs lately? New gear? Still waiting for your second JD to come in? You've done no gigs. Is that because you don't want to do any, or you just haven't had any in? But I'm on the lookout for a new bass. Excellent. What are you after? What are you after? What are you buying? What's catching your eye? Don't tell me the 6-string status at the gallery, priced at £4,500. Or Mo Foster's Series 1 Alembic, maybe, at a pocket-friendly £16,500. Hey. Which I saw last week. And I popped into the gallery. I'm going to wait for a status bass to pop up again on Reverb. What model? What are you after? You should have bought that one with the orange tint that went to Bass Brothers. You'd like a second status as a backup. Quite right too. There's quite a few T basses going up at the moment. I'm kind of shocked at the prices people are asking for them as well. Because not long after Status announced his semi-retirement, there were a couple of T basses went up about a year ago, and they certainly weren't as high as they currently are. You want exactly the same as your ones, Empathy 4-string or around that period, headless. There's been some Empathy 4s, headless about. Clearly you've missed them when they've come up, but they'll appear. They'll appear, mate. It's funny, there's a guy on the status group, can't remember his name, Josh something or other, I think. And he's got a 5-string Empathy, and for months last year, he moaned and complained about it. He bought it, and he moaned and complained, and it wasn't this, and it wasn't that, and it didn't do this, and it didn't sound how he wanted it to sound, and blah, 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 blah. And he posted the other week, oh, it's the most amazing bass. Oh my God, it's just amazing. Oh, so either either he didn't really know what he was doing with it, or he's just bigging it up because he's planning to sell it. So I'll keep an eye on that, because people who are planning to sell won't mention the bad things about a bass yet. 6 months earlier, he only moaned about it. Keep an eye on that one, Joe. Clearly it'll be a 5, not a 4. It's a 5. Yeah. You'd love a headless 5-string. Well, they come up. They do come up. Keep an eye on the State-Eye forum, as in the plural for status basses, because people do post up on there and don't do it on social media. So something might pop up on there. Do I remember Moo from Bass Chat? Yeah, he had some lovely wood. I think he had certain timber. I can't remember if he gave it or he presented it to Status to make his bass, but he had some very nice hand-selected timbers. Yeah, I think he had a couple of basses made, didn't he? Don't know him personally, but I remember all his posts and stuff. There used to be the Status forum on Bass Chat used to be very, very busy. It just sort of died a death a bit. Mum, how many people are watching at the moment? 12 currently. Yeah, 12. With 12 thumbs ups. So 13 people like the video. So if you're one of those people who's given the video a thumbs up, thank you very much. If you haven't done, why not? Please do. Yeah, not sure if I mentioned it, but I bought a bass off him years ago. Ah, right, that'll be your other Status then. See, this is the down point to live chats. You can't add a photo. I wish they'd find a way to make that possible. I went to his flat. It was somewhere in London. He had about 20 Statuses. Yeah, sounds about right. I bought a Status Headless 4 off him. You still got it? Or did you sell it? But it didn't work. The electronics didn't work. At the same time, I was living in Paris, so I got it repaired. But when I tried it out in his flat, he said he didn't have the XLR jack, as that's all it took. Sounds a bit iffy. Little did I know, obviously he had the cable, he just didn't want me to try it. It's an old wheeze, that one. But it looked amazing. Yeah, I remember he had some great basses. Yeah, he was very very involved in the Status conversations on Bass Chat. The thing is, anything with Status, if there's a problem electronically, I don't know how this stands now, but it used to be you could just get it, as long as you can get it back to Rob, either send it there or drive it there. He'll fix it. He designed it. Oh, you only own one now? You've had about 8. Wow. I think what one? Oh, I had 5 Status 2000s all at the same time. I bought 5 and kept 1. And they all sounded different, all felt different. In theory, they shouldn't. They should all have been the same, but they weren't. And the only other, I had a Washburn Status that was absolutely knackered. And I was going to do it up and didn't, and in the end sold it on. And the only other Status I've had that I sold, oh no, I had a T-base. I had a Seafoam T-base that I sold to basically pay the deposit of the first GB Rumour, Kingfisher Blue. And then during lockdown I sold the Status 2000 Matrix that I had, so basically a headed version of a Series 2000, to Rob Mitchell. Just needed money in. I'd used the bass on a bunch of gigs. It was very good, but wasn't a match for my empathies, and I thought, well, the empathy will always get used over that, so it can go. Some of those Status basses were the cheaper wooden energies. Yeah, some of them sounded really good though. Some of them were good. You weren't interested in Rob's new wooden Statuses at all after owning a few energies. Yeah, I've seen sort of people sort of waxing lyrical about them, and that's fine, that's good. But in a world of YouTube, and I'm a fine one to talk, people can say things about instruments because they know they're going to move it on at some point or relatively soon. So they won't give you an honest appraisal of something. They'll just say what they want you to hear because they want to shift it. So until I've tried one in my own hands, I won't be listening to what anyone else has got to say. He was asking way too much for the wooden versions, but people are willing to pay. Yes, they are, because they see everything as a collectible commodity. That's obviously he doesn't want to work in graphite anymore. No, I think too many health issues with that. But you can say the same about wood. You know, anyone that works in a wood place breathing in wood dust all day, that's not a good thing either. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Right, look at your Rumour behind you. He's not making wooded basses of that quality. Well, that's the daft thing. He could, but I think the trend, certainly amongst Status customers currently, is to buy Chris Wolstenholme influenced instruments, and he doesn't tend to go for all that, does he? He goes for sort of solid colours and flip top colours and yeah, all of that. And I think maybe Rob's addressing that. I think, because certainly every time a Chris Wolstenholme Status goes up, people are frothing at the mouth to buy it, really. Well, that's the impression I get. Whereas I'm not really bothered about Chris Wolstenholme, so it has no resonance to me whatsoever. I've been through the whole bass hero, you know, I've lived through that period of bass hero-dom. The signature bass is a horrible shape. The Chris Wolstenholme, there's something about the classic Status shape. Get the empathy out for the third time, eh? But he played around with it various times, and I always thought the Series 2 Classic wasn't as good as this. So that is the archetypal classic Status shape. The way those horns are, the way the body shape is. That's it. But yeah, the Chris Wolstenholme and the Series 2 Classics, they're not that. They're not. That's what I want. He should make a nice through neck classic status wooden bass with the through neck woods. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. I love that red bass, my empathy. Yeah, I want one of them as well. You want everything this week. Yeah, do you know what? I've never seen another red empathy. I know Chris, lots of people have had S2 classics made that look like that. Chris Childs from Thunder had a Series 2 classic 5-string that looks like that. And I've not asked him, was my bass the influence for that? Because he certainly hadn't placed the order for his one before he was here and played that. He loved status basses. He used to have quite a few, I think, and sold them off over the years. And he was around what they called Soundcraft when Trace Elliott were being built in Essex and Chelmsford, I think. And Rob Green was in the room upstairs doing the first statuses. So Chris Childs got to play a lot of those instruments. He loved them. But yeah. But I've never seen another empathy in the cherry red. I've never seen a picture of one. I've never encountered another one. Yeah. Good, we're up to date on the live chat. Yeah, I got a good bass there. Although I didn't think so the first year that I had it. It didn't click with me for quite a while. I used it on a load of gigs, just could not get on with it. And I've told this story a million times. In 2007, I was going to put that bass up for sale and I gave it a month to prove its worth. So I reset it up with different gauge of strings, different brand of strings, changed the pickup height, got it all sorted. And it became my my main bass for years. And it's still earning its keep, doing the Uncle Funk shows while we're doing the bass string experiment series. So we've just gone past 11 o'clock here on Brooks's Bass Corner, live chat number 54. Good to see you. Thank you for joining in. Those of you who are here. Those of you who were here earlier, thank you very much. If you're watching this after the event, the live chat window will be closed, but you can still communicate, send comments, ask questions via the community box. Community, what am I talking about? The comments section below, idiot. Oh, Joe's posted, does Goodfellow have any affiliation with court bases? Now, here's another story. It's true, I've been around for a few years. So Bernie used to work out of a business estate in Croydon. And a couple of doors down in that business estate were Pro L. And Pro L were the UK distributors of court bases. The guy that worked at Pro L borrowed a couple of Bernie's bases. Get the old white beast here. Show you what I'm talking about. So all the Goodfellow bases have well, generally they do. He started doing a headstock design with the Merlins as a rounded top. But anyway, a lot of the Rumours have that cutaway, or it might be on the other side like it was on the 5. But anyway, but every bass can have a unique touch. Lo and behold, Bernie got his basses back from this guy at Pro L, and lo and behold, all the courts started to have that cutaway in the headstock. And then they called it the Court GB. Didn't go down well with Bernie. I don't think. And there was talk, God, some years after that, that Bernie was going to do a cheaper range of instruments mass produced. Kind of got like, you know, what companies do with the farm a load of cheaper instruments from China, that kind of thing. But for some reason, I don't know the full story, but I remember talking to him about it. I think maybe the finances just didn't add up it wasn't going to be a worthwhile project to do it. Or I think maybe he wasn't sure he'd be able to sell enough in volume to make the numbers add up. So you had to have a certain number produced to reach a certain cost per instrument, and it just didn't add up. So there's the story regarding Goodfellow and Cork. They were in the same building, essentially, or the UK and Europe distributor were based in the same building that Bernie was in. There you go. I remember that happening. That was 20 years ago, 2003. All that happened. So when you see a Court GB bass, it's nothing to do with Bernie, but they did borrow a couple of his rumour basses. Exactly. There you go. Exactly that, Joe. Exactly that. So I was going backwards and forwards to Bernie's workshop quite a lot then, because I was speccing my first bass, which was, well, my first GB. Here, the bass is ready to go for Thursday, of course. So that was the first GB I had. Kingfisher Blue, rumour. Of course. Oh no, I haven't got any batteries in on the LEDs. There we go. Made for me. 2004. It's all signed up on the back. Yeah. Oh, hello. That's better. Yeah, it's what's this? This is Swamp Ash. Swamp Ash, walnut, quartered maple, bird's eye maple in the neck. It's actually three. Oh no, there's Spitfire's got 3 different woods for the neck laminate. 3 different types of maple. But anyway, Swamp Ash body. It's pretty light. The neck's actually heavier than the body. Quartered maple top. Bird's eye maple fingerboard. Can't remember if I think he tweaked my circuitry, so it's a bit more pokey, but it's great. Going to get a fret clean next time I change the strings. I know that much. Yes, sir. It's got a few little war wounds, but it's a right old clattering off Martin Johnson's ride cymbal in December 2021. I'd lost track of my bearings and the headstock. You can see it. That one. Martin, you sod. But anyway, he hit his ride cymbal and it went clonk into the head. So there we go. It happens. A couple of other little things. It's been used on hundreds of gigs, so. Yeah, bloody drummers, exactly. But there's not a lot of maple fingerboarded rumours. Generally, Bernie used dark woods. A lot of rosewood, a lot of ebony, snake wood. There's a couple of others as well. He did go through a bit of a phase in the mid-2000s of offering very exotic fingerboard woods. He'd find something a bit tasty at the timber merchants and then do a bunch of bases with that fingerboard. But at the time, I wanted a maple board, and it's gone really nice over time. It's kind of honeyed up a bit. It's good. I'd like to get the Mark King Red GB bass. You can have that bass. You can, if you've got the money, you can go to Bernie and he'll make you one. Although it won't have that EQ package. That was what was in there at the time. That's not, generally it's Rumour Electronics these days. Back then the Rumour had one package, and the, well, what was called the standard, I think back then, which is what became the Spitfire, had a different set of controls, different EQs. Yeah, it's been plenty of finger action on these pickups, I can assure you. Yeah, what preamp was in the red bass? It was just different. It was tuned differently because it was meant to be like a super jazz. I think there was mids on there. I think bass and treble was stacked, and then there was a separate mid control. I don't know. I'd have to. I'm sure if you Google it, there was like a really good brochure he used to do around about 98, 99, which actually I think had the red Mark King model. That wasn't a Mark King model. It belonged to someone. And when he was making one for Mark, Mark needed two basses to go out on tour, so he had the Daphne Blue, and they had to borrow the red one originally, the sort of cherry sunburst one. And Mark's one sort of arrived sort of halfway through the tour, I think. But it was a different sounding preamp, and then kind of round about I think around about 2003, just standardized, and every GB bass had the same Rumour package, but you can tailor the EQ and the shelved EQ values when you order the bass. Just tell, or once it's made, tell Bernie what you want, and either he or, I think usually Dick Straker would do it. So if you wanted more mids, you could have that. You wanted more bass, you could have that. You want more glassy top, you can have that. You just specify it. Ooh. Yeah, man. I love the sound of those basses. Probably my favourite tone of Mark King after the Guaranteed live video with the Alembics. Yeah, the Alembic tone is my thing. I mean, I love the JD tone, the classic JD tone. I'm not so keen on how he sounds with it now, although the clip from Poland the other week with the jam in Love Games I thought was excellent. The sound of yesteryear. But his playing has changed since those days. But will he ever use the Alembics again? I don't know. I think they're just too heavy, too much grief for him to, as well as sounding absolutely amazing, my favourite sounding basses of all time. But I just can't see him going down that road again, which is a shame. But yeah, that's the Kingfisher Blue GB Rumour 4. Too many bass gig bags here. Very good. We've got 12 of you watching at the moment. Did he change his style, or is it the Mark bass amps? He didn't. It's not so much that, but his playing style has changed over the years. I mean, if you look at how he played in 92, it's very different how he played in sort of 83, 84. And I think once they did World Machine and it was more songs and less instrumentals, and he's spending more time at the mic, that kind of changed his playing style, really. That's my view. I don't think he changed his playing style because of the Mark bass amps, although I still don't understand why he needs another outboard preamp to make the Mark bass stuff sound how he wants it to sound. Because otherwise, why wouldn't you choose a band that sounds how you want it to sound in the first place? But that's the joy of endorsement fees, isn't it? His voice has changed for the worse. Well, he's getting older. Voice is dropping. Voice is dropping. And, you know, it's a different thing now. It's not a bunch of 20-year-olds, you know, playing their asses off. It's a different thing. I would say. Johnny Cash sounded better than ever. Yeah, this is a different thing, isn't it? You know, but Mark, you know, Mark isn't gigging all year round. He'll do a couple of months of touring and then bits and pieces. And you don't train, well, it's not train, but if you're not using your throat all the time, your voice will change big time. It's a muscle. You've got to keep it sort of tuned up and sort of warmed up, ready for when you're performing, but at the same time, you don't want to wear it out. But as you get older, your voice naturally drops. It doesn't get higher, it drops. So it is what it is. I'm sure it will see him out, but yeah, it's not what it was, but that's all right. At least they're out there gigging, you know. For a while, he wasn't. In the mid-90s, there were no Mark King shows, so, you know, after 94, there was nothing until the end of 98. That's just the way it was. So here we are, Brooks's Bass Corner live chat number 54. You're very welcome. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining us. This is the first live chat back in the regular Tuesday slot, 8 p.m, live from London town here in the UK. Going to be doing these every Tuesday up until December the 19th, so a week before Christmas. Joe Goose, was he trying to write new material? No, Level 42 had split. And we didn't know if Mark King would come back or not. And as he said, it was time to take stock and have a bit of a break and have some family time and all that. And when he put all his gear, or a large chunk of his gear, up for sale in 97, lots of people on Level 42 Digest thought that was it. That's him retired. He's not going to do anymore. Not knowing that a year later he would have a new solo album and he'd be out doing shows and all of that. And then obviously eventually he got the Level 42 name back in about 2003. And then Mike rejoined, and here we are, fast forward 20 years. Apparently he was writing material the whole time when he felt inclined to do so. I think it was, he'd done some demos, obviously, clearly what came out of the Trash sessions. And he played them to someone, I think, at Eagle Rock. And they said, we really like this. Do us an album. So they did. So that was one man. Keith Doherty won't catch the live chat next week on night shift. No problem, sir. But should catch the replay. Beautiful. Lovely stuff. Very different level 42, but it needed to be. He wanted to be a songwriter. He didn't want to just be a bass slinger. And actually a lot of the stuff he talked about in the bassist interview from that magazine, which was August 98, which was like the first interview done since level 42 had split. And he went through a lot of the stuff. There's actually some stuff in the interviews here on the channel, the ones from 2015, 2017. Actually more in 2015. Joel and I asked him, what the hell did you do for 4.5 years? And he sort of went into it. You know, family time, downsized the house. He talks about, you know, they were paying something like £10,000 a year on a cage at John Henry's just to store bass cases. The bases were at his house, but the cases were at John Henry's. And they're paying £10,000 a year. So he ended up building a very big garage to put the cases in and then sold the place. I don't know. I don't make the rules. But yeah. And then there was always the chance of the super band project thing. So you're not much younger than me, Joe, but there was always talk of him doing a super trio with Mark, Brian May, Phil Collins. And I've asked him about it several times. He said there was always that on the table. And I definitely think he did something with Brian May, whether that was like late 80s, early 90s. But then in 1995, there was talk of a supergroup project. So just as Oasis were kind of hitting their stride, supergroups became very unfashionable. But he did a thing, and little did I know, I was living in the same bloody town about 3 roads away. He, Midge, Nick Kershaw, Carl Palmer, Brian May, a couple of other people, they hired a house in Villiers Road in Kingston, which is where I was studying, literally 3 roads away. And I lived maybe 6 roads away from there. They hired a house and just jammed for a couple of days. I don't remember ever seeing any of them pottering around there in 1995, but they were apparently. And I think they all kind of realised there wasn't going to be enough legs. Mark played them a load of ideas. Mark's stuff being quite musical, sort of technically. And I think some of the players probably looked at it and went, no, not for me. But there we go. He elaborated on that in in one of the interviews. And he said could have been good, but the musical landscape at the time wouldn't have probably tolerated it. And he said we wouldn't have made much money off it, so it kind of just died a quiet death of its own accord. Joe Goose, Keith Doherty, you can hide in the toilet on the night shift and stream Brooks's bass corner off your phone, mate. Whatever takes your fancy, Keith, obviously. When you have as much money as Mark, you can afford to make mistakes. Yeah, true. Joe Goose Bass, what did you study, Mark? I did computer information systems design at Kingston. So I had something to fall back on if I needed it. And actually there was some elements of that course in terms of business and marketing and how to run a business and stuff that have been extremely valuable through my years as a self-employed musician. It gave me the power of analysis, because a big chunk of that course was analysis. And so now, like when I'm, playing in bands or auditioning for bands and anything really work-wise, I can kind of break everything down into the nuts and bolts and then think, well, is this what I want to do, or is this something I want to be in, or all those kind of things. So all works out. Did you do any programming on the course? Very small part. That was just one element of, I think, our first year. We did stuff in Pascal, but no, the course you're thinking of is computer science. That wasn't what ours was about. So computer science was a lot of programming, a lot of technical stuff. Our stuff was more business based, breaking systems down, document flow, documents. You know, there's a lot of that sort of stuff, systems analysis and design, and it was more about developing systems for clients and what their information flow through their business was, and where would you address this and that, and what, you know, a lot of networks, databases, all of that stuff. But like I say, it taught me a lot of stuff. Good way to grow up, stand on your own 2 feet, learn to do your own washing and ironing and cooking and all of that sort of thing. And gave me a year out. There was a year, we had placement year, which allowed me to get some extra money behind myself. So it was all good. I did the exact opposite to you. I studied music BA and then ended up as a programmer and software developer. Yeah, all of that. Did it the wrong way around, didn't we? But no, it was good. It was good that I did it. And like I say, it was always there if I needed to fall back on it. But thankfully, really, I haven't had to. Been a couple of times I've done sort of part-time stuff, and I did some contracting in 2000. Other than that, it's been music all the way. So it's all good. I think we're going to wrap this up in about 4 or 5 minutes. So if you've got any further questions, let's have them in the live chat window. If there's no other questions, then we will see you next week, 8 o'clock, Tuesday, here on Brooks's Bass Corner. As I said earlier, there's a new video up on the channel, which is the soundbite demo video for the Spectre NS Pulse Series 1 in Cinder Red, sandblasted finish. And it's a bit of a beast. So if you want to check that out, at the top of this live chat window is a link for that video. Or you can just go into the channel and look for the latest video. And it's there. And there will be, hopefully, a bass string video tomorrow, bass string experiment video. And then either another demo or a review or an interview. I'll just see how my time is this week. So I've got 4 gigs, so it's going to get a bit tricky slotting everything in before we get to the weekend, but we'll see how we go. And it's all good. So thank you everyone for joining in tonight. Thank you for your questions and your comments. Thank you to Joe Goose, of course, Keith Doherty, Stacey Ann, my mum, my sister. I'm not going to make this a big, it's like a Grammys speech, Oscars speech. Thank you to my agent. But yes, thank you. It's been a pleasure, been good fun. Good to get back in the saddle, although I say that we did one last week, but it's good. We're going to do this every Tuesday. Joe Goose, £10 super chat. Thank you, mate. God bless you. Thank you very much. Really, I do appreciate that. Nice one. Bless your heart. Thank you. That's very much appreciated. Well done, Joe Goose. Thank you. If you enjoyed the video, you can still donate via Super Chat, or if you're watching this after the event, there's always the Super Thanks button in the row of icons underneath the video. Either option will allow you to make a financial contribution to the channel. Keep it going, keep it running. It's all very much appreciated. If you're interested in Brooks's Bass Corner merchandise, we have the Mark King shirt, of course, the Bass Legend quotes, t-shirts and mugs. They're in the UK and Europe store and the US and worldwide store in the description box below. There's also the affiliate links for Thomann, Amazon, Gear for Music and ANDERTONS. So if you've got any bass related purchases, feel free to use those affiliate links. If you buy something, the channel benefits from a small affiliate commission. Cheers, Joe. You're doing a great job, mate. Thank you, mate. I do appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed the stuff we're doing. It's going to be a load more content, so keep your eyes peeled. There's lots coming up now that we've come through summer and the festival gigs are winding down. So on that note, thank you very much, everyone. It's been a pleasure to chat to you, and hopefully see you again next Tuesday, 8 o'clock, sharpish here on Brooks's Bass Corner. But as I said, we will be here every Tuesday now, between now and December the 19th, as we approach Christmas. So on that note, have a great week. Enjoy your bass playing. If you're out gigging, be safe, have a good time, and keep an eye on the channel for new content. And I will see you next Tuesday. Take it easy. All the best.